All right, Senator Gadger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've got a resolution that I would like to pass across the desk, please, for the national champion hoop shooter from Coleman County. We're glad he's here with us today, so I'd like to recognize him, but I'm going to let them read this resolution first, Paxton, before we get going, okay? Do you have a copy, sir? Thank you.
Senate resolution commending Paxton Plourd on being named the Elks Hoop Shoot National Champion. Whereas highest commendations and congratulations are herein proudly presented to Paxton Plourd from Coleman, Alabama, for winning the Elks National Hoop Shoot competition in the 8 and 9 boys division on Saturday, April 26, 2025 at Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois. Whereas Paxton shot a perfect 25 of 25 from the free throw line to secure the national championship. And whereas the Elks National Hoop Shoot in partnership with the Basketball Hall of Fame is a free throw contest for youth ages 8 through 13, the program provides youth an opportunity to compete, connect, and succeed through hard work and healthy competition. Winners advance through local, district, state, and regional contests to reach the national finals. In the end, the names of 6 national champions are permanently inscribed in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Whereas since the competition began in 1972, Paxton Plourd is just the 3rd participant from Alabama to win a national championship. Notably, 2 of these champions have come from Coleman. Whereas Parkside School, where Paxton is a 3rd grade student, held a surprise celebration for him on Monday, April the 28th, and the Coleman Elks Lodge will host a reception in his honor in May at the Lodge in Coleman. Community supporters, friends, and family will have the opportunity to celebrate Paxton's accomplishment and the journey that led him to national success. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the Legislature of Alabama that we extend our sincere congratulations to Paxton Plourd for winning the Elks National Hoop Shoot competition in the 8 and 9 boys division, and we hereby dedicate this resolution to him with best wishes for continued success in all of his future endeavors.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Alabama State Senate, this young man did something that is amazing that I've always dreamed of when I was his age, is to win that National Hoop Shoot Award, because it's a big deal in Coleman, Alabama. But you've got to be really, really good at what you do. And I cannot imagine how many free throws that you've practiced, whether your basketball goal is outside, next to the house, or in the gym, or wherever it is. But we all know that if you won the national championship, that you have practiced hard and that you've learned a lot and a lot of discipline that had to go into that to achieve your goals. Is that correct, Paxton? Ladies and gentlemen, you should have seen the celebration from his own school and colleagues, and I'm talking about from 1st grade all the way up to seniors in high school. He came through the door, and there was the high school cheerleaders, which I think is the best thing that he liked about this whole deal. They were there for him anyway. But he got up, he talked, we had him on stage, the national people were there. They played music and got the whole pepper rally for the whole school. And then in the end, he went head-to-head with a high school 10th grader on free throws and just schooled him anyway. So we're proud of you doing that again, Paxton. But thank you for being here and representing Alabama.
Mr. President,
Yeah, Senator Smithman.
before you all leave, I just wanted to share with you that they don't know you and I already done talked, so this is new to them, but not to you. As I shared to you earlier, I'm real proud of you, and I'm proud of the determination. And let me just tell you something. It doesn't mean a whole lot now, but as you get older and Dad talk to you about it, you have a unique characteristic of being mentally tough. It takes that to sit there and not have your mind drifting off of something else or anything like that, and stay focused on your techniques and what you're doing. So you're to be commended at this age for having that ability. Keep staying with it. That's all you got to do. And like I told you, I said, that shot is going to take you anywhere you want to go around the world. So we're so proud of you, and and of course I tell them, I already told them I'm a coach, and I do all of that, but I can just tell you, you're a rare find in life, and especially in the sport of basketball. So continue, and may God bless you. Take care.
Hey, thank you, and we look forward to seeing you play at Auburn one day, War Eagle. So. Ladies and gentlemen, the Alabama Senate will now come to order. Our prayer today will be delivered by Dr. Will McGee. Dr. McGee is the pastor of Calvary Baptist Church in Tuscaloosa as a guest of Senator Allen.
Will you pray with me? Almighty God, we come before you today with grateful hearts for the privilege of living in this nation where governance is by the people and for the people. Lord, we thank you for the blessing of calling this great and beautiful state our home. And we ask for your favor upon this chamber and these public servants who have been entrusted with such great responsibility. Lord, I thank you for each senator and staff member gathered here for their willingness to shoulder the weighty responsibility of leadership. Grant them wisdom that transcends mere human understanding. Give them courage that stands firm in the face of pressure, and give them compassion that sees the faces of their neighbors in every decision that they make. Lord, we ask that you guide them to uphold what is good and just, to establish policies that protect the most vulnerable among us, and to pursue peace in all of our communities. May they be mindful that true leadership is measured not by power wielded, but by service rendered to others. Remind them daily that they are accountable to their conscience, to their constituents, and ultimately to you, the righteous judge of all. And may this accountability not burden them, Lord, but inspire them to excellence, the excellence that you've called them to. Will you grant them discernment to recognize evil and give them moral clarity to stand against it? Give them hearts that break for those who cannot speak for themselves, the poor, the oppressed, the vulnerable, and the forgotten. Lord, we offer this prayer today with humble hearts, recognizing all of our need for your grace and your guidance. And we pray all of these things in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Today, the pledge will be led by Hudson Boyd. Hudson attends Conteco High School in Somerville and is paging for Senator Orr. Hudson.
Attention, salute, pledge.
Secretary, call the roll.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Allen, Mr. Barfoot, Mr. Beasley, Mr. Bell, Mr. Butler, Mr. Carnley, Mr. Chambliss, Mr. Chasteen, Ms. Coleman Madison, Mr. Elliott, Ms. Figures, Mr. Gavan, Mr. Gudger, Mr. Hatcher, Mr. Hovey, Mr. Jones, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kitchens, Mr. Livingston, Mr. Melson, Mr. Orr, Mr. Price, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Sessions, Mr. Shelnut, Mr. Singleton, Mr. Smitherman, Mr. Stewart, Mr. Stutz, Mr. Wagner, Ms. Weaver, Mr. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 27 senators present, which is a quorum. The Senate is ready to transact business.
Mr. President,
Senator Wagner.
move that we excuse absent senators.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. President,
Senator Wagner.
move that we dispense with the reading of the journal from the previous legislative day and that we adopt said journal.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. All right, I'd like to recognize a special guest in the gallery, the guest of Senator Chambliss. When I call your name, if you could please stand. River Jones. He's a first grader at Prattville Primary School. He just won the Alabama Greco-Roman Wrestling State Championship. Congratulations. Hey, that's awesome. All very proud of you. Congratulations.
Mr. President,
Senator
during the
Orr.
lull, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to offer an SJR.
Okay, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. Secretary Reed received the SJR.
Senate Joint Resolution number 90 by Senator Orr, mourning the death of Judge David Joe Breland.
Mr. President, I would move unanimous consent to add all senators as co-sponsors, please.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
All right, to move for immediate consideration.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, and the resolution is adopted.
you, Mr.
Thanks, Senator Orr.
Mr. President,
Senator Chambliss.
move that we accept committee reports throughout the legislative day.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has amended as therein shown and as amended has passed the following Senate bill and returned same herewith to the Senate. Senate Bill number 280 relating to public K through 12 education. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Mr. President, I'd move concur with the House amendment. Using the long roll.
All right, Secretary, call long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams.
$27 ayes. No nays. Senate concurs on the amendment. All right, Secretary, call next House message.
Message from the House, Mr. President. The House of Representatives has amended as therein shown and has amended as passed the following Senate bill and returns same herewith to the Senate. Senate Bill number 313 relating to the Alabama 21st Century Authority by Senator Smitherman. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Mr. President, I'd move adoption of the House amendment using the previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
28 ayes, 0 nays. The Senate concurs on Senate Bill 313. I got some guests in the gallery. Need to recognize first guest. When I call your name, if you could please stand, the guest of Senator Stewart, the Greenville Camellia Queens, and Debbie Tots. If y'all could please stand. Welcome to Alabama Senate. Great to have you today. All right, next guest. I got the guest of Senator Williams, Mr. Doug Harwell. If you could please stand. Welcome to Alabama Senate. And finally, got Commissioner Jason Wyndham of Marengo County, the guest of Senator Singleton. If you could please stand.
Message from the House, Mr. President. The House of Representatives has amended as therein shown and as amended as passed the following Senate bill and returns same herewith to the Senate. Senate Bill number 304 regarding energy infrastructure by Senator Orr. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Sorry, Mr. President.
All right, getting your steps into
Yes,
today.
I would move to concur with the House amendment using the previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
28 ayes, 0 nays. The Senate concurs on Senate Bill 304. Secretary, call the next House message.
Message from the House, Mr. President. The House of Representatives has amended as therein shown and as amended as passed the following Senate bill and returns same herewith to the Senate. Senate Bill number 216 regarding the State Employees Retirement System by Senator Chambliss. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Senator Chambliss.
Mr. President, I move to concur with the House changes using the short roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
28 ayes, 0 nays. The Senate concurs on Senate Bill 216. Thanks, Senator Chambliss.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, Secretary, call the next House message. All right, that concludes House messages.
From the Committee on Finance and Taxation General Fund, House Bill number 543 receives a favorable report by a vote of 6 ayes and 0 nays.
This bill will see second read to be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary, call the next committee.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation number 183, appointing Eric H. Terry to the Alabama National Guard, rank of Brigadier General Army, receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays.
Mr. President, I make the motion that the Senate confirms Eric Terry to the rank of Brigadier General using previous role with no objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
Twenty-nine ayes, 0 nays. Senate confirms Eric Terry, Brigadier General. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation number 184, appointing Albert T. Strickland to the Alabama National Guard, rank of Brigadier General, Army, receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays.
Make the motion that Senate confirms Albert Strickland to the rank of Brigadier General using previous role with no objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
Thirty-two ayes, 0 nays. Albert Strickland's confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmations, Senate Confirmation number 179, appointing Jeff Brannon to the Alabama Workforce Board, receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays.
The motion, Senate confirms Jeff Brannon to the Alabama Workforce Board using previous role with no objection.
Using previous role. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
32 ayes, 0 nays. Jeff Brannon's confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation number 182, appointing Jimmy Ann Campbell to the Alabama Real Estate Commission, receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays.
Make the motion that Senate confirms Jimmy Ann Campbell to the Alabama Real Estate Commission using previous role with no objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
All right, 32 ayes, 0 nays. Jimmy Ann Campbell's confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation number 172, appointing Marlon Williamson to the Alabama State 911 Board, receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays.
Make the motion that Senate confirms Marlon Williamson to the statewide 911 Board using previous role with no objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
32 ayes, 0 nays. Marlon Williamson's confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation number 173, appointing Richard Schreiber to the Alabama State 911 Board, receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays.
Make the motion that the Senate confirms Richard Schreiber to the State 911 Board using previous role with no objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
32 ayes, 0 nays. Richard Schreiber's confirmed. Secretary called next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmation, Senate Confirmation number 174, appointing Brandon Wallace to the Alabama State 911 Board, receives a favorable report by a vote of 9 ayes and 0 nays.
Make a motion that the Senate confirms Brandon Wallace to the State 911 Board using previous role with no objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
32 ayes, 0 nays. Brandon Wallace is confirmed. This concludes confirmation. Secretary called next committee.
From the Judiciary Committee, House Bill number 474 receives a favorable report by a vote of 8 ayes and 0 nays. From the Judiciary Committee, House Bill number 527 receives a favorable report by a vote of 8 ayes and 0 nays. From the Judiciary Committee, House Bill number 449 receives a favorable report by a vote of 7 ayes and 2 nays. From the Judiciary Committee, House Bill number 380 receives a favorable report by a vote of 10 ayes and 0 nays.
All right, these bills received a second read and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary called next committee.
From the Committee on Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development, House Bill number 435 receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays. From Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development, House Bill number 528 receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays. From Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development, House Bill number 559 receives a favorable report by a vote of 11 ayes and 0 nays.
These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary called next committee.
From the Committee on Local Legislation, House Bill number 598 receives a favorable report. From Local Legislation, House Bill number 608 receives a favorable report. From Local Legislation, House Bill number 609 receives a favorable report.
These bills received a second reading and be placed on the calendar for next legislative day. Secretary called next. That concludes committees. Okay. Now move on to motions and resolutions.
Mr. President, I have
Senator
some
Wagner.
resolutions from rules.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolutions from rules.
I've got several.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 275, recognizing Douglas. Also, House Joint Resolution number 276, honoring Uni Waldorf Smith. Also, House Joint Resolution number 278, recognizing Ream Manufacturing, receive a favorable report.
Mr. President, move adoption of the resolutions.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Hold on a
Mr.
second.
President, I have a
Resolution?
resolution.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. I was like,
I thought that was a calendar. I'm sorry.
yeah. Yeah. All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 291, urging the Board of Directors of the Alabama Veterans Resource Center to include Dovetail Landing as a vital partner in assisting the veteran community, receives a favorable report.
Mr. President, move adoption of the resolution.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 310, promoting an increased trade relationship between the state of Alabama and the Port of Bar, Montenegro, receives a favorable report.
Mr. President, move adoption of the resolution.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 289, establishing the Permanent Joint Legislative Committee on Law Enforcement Medal of Honor and Meritorious Service Medal, receives a favorable report.
Mr. President, move adoption of the resolution.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 285, naming U.S. Highway 29 at its intersection with Eagle Road and Harts Bridge Road in Covington County, the PFC Thomas Lloyd Rogers Memorial Intersection, receives a favorable report.
Move adoption of the resolution.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 286, naming a 2-mile portion of State Highway 137 in Covington County in memorial of General Underwood Cross, receives a favorable report.
Mr. President, move adoption of the resolution.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution, please.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 298, commending Skills USA state competition medalists and competitors, a favorable report.
Mr. President, move adoption of the resolution.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 299, celebrating Earlene Dixon Thomas on her 100th birthday, receives a favorable report.
Mr. President, move adoption of resolution. Move adoption of resolution.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right. Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 300, commending Dr. Stan Stokely on winning the National Distinguished Principal Award, receives a favorable report.
Mr. President, move adoption of resolution.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 301, honoring Dr. Reverend Clifford E. Jones for 25 years of outstanding leadership to the Greater Peace Community Development Corporation, receives a favorable report.
Mr. President, move adoption of resolution.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 303, commending the Alabama Center for the Arts and the Alabama Arts Hall of Fame, receives a favorable report.
Mr. President, move adoption of resolution.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the resolution.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 311, commending retired Staff Sergeant Wesley Porter for his invaluable contributions to shaping the future of young innovators, receives a favorable report.
Move adoption of resolution.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Mr. President, I have a resolution that I actually would like read. I'm sorry, I can't use my right arm right now.
All right, any objection to receiving the resolution? Hearing none, so ordered. Secretary, read and receive the resolution. And then you want the resolution read?
Yes.
Okay, Secretary, read the resolution, please.
Senate Joint Resolution number 91 by Senator Coleman recognizing May 6th as birthday of Alabama's baseball giant William Howard Mays, Jr. Whereas William Willie Howard Mays, Jr. was born on May 6, 1931 in the former town of Westfield in Jefferson County in Alabama in 1931 and began playing baseball at an early age with his father, Cap Mays. Whereas Willie was a standout multi-sport athlete at Fairfield Industrial High School, leading the basketball team in scoring, playing multiple positions on the football team, and showcasing his natural talent for baseball. Whereas in 1948, he began his professional baseball career at the age of 16 in the Negro American League, 11 years before the complete integration of Major League Baseball in 1959. Whereas in 1948, Mays recorded his first professional hit at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, while playing for the Birmingham Black Barons, and used his outstanding fielding, batting, and base running ability to help lead the team to the 1948 Negro World Series. Whereas in 1950, he signed a contract with the New York Giants after graduating from Fairfield Industrial High School, spent a brief year in the minor leagues, and was quickly called up to play his first game for the New York Giants on May the 24th, 1951. Whereas in 1951, he was voted the National League Rookie of the Year after recording 68 runs batted in and 20 home runs in 121 games. And whereas from 1952 to 1954, Willie was drafted into the Army and served the United States during the Korean War. During his military service, he spent most of his time in the Army at Fort Eustis, Virginia as an athletic instructor and played baseball for the Fort Eustis Wheels. Whereas after Mays finished his service in the Army, he returned to help the New York Giants win the 1954 World Series by robbing a Cleveland batter of a go-ahead run with an implausible basket catch in deep center field to win the game of the 1954 World Series in a moment that will be forever remembered as the catch. Whereas he earned a remarkable number of awards and accolades throughout his career in Major League Baseball, including a 24 All-Star Game selection, 2 National League Most Valuable Player Awards, 12 Gold Glove Awards, and 4 National League Home Run Leader titles. Whereas Willie achieved a .302 lifetime batting average while recording 3,293 hits, 660 home runs, and a Major League Baseball all-time record of 7,112 putouts from the history with more than 300 home runs, 300 stolen bases, 3,000 career hits, and a career batting average greater than 300. His accomplishments were not fully recognized until 2024 when Major League Baseball incorporated the statistics from the Negro American League into the Major League Baseball historical records. And whereas in 1979, Mays was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame on his first ballot as a tribute to the indelible impact and enduring legacy of Mays, the San Francisco and New York Mets retired his jersey number 24. The address of the stadium of the San Francisco Giants is 24 Willie Mays Plaza, in recognition of the contributions and impact that Mays had on the San Francisco Giants organization throughout his life. Whereas in 2015, Willie was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest honor the president can award to a civilian. Whereas Willie Mays died on June 18, 2024, he personified the American dream by relying on his relentless work ethic and determination to become an immortal giant of baseball, all while inspiring millions of people. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the legislature of Alabama, both houses thereof concurring, that in recognition of what would have been his 94th birthday, William Willie Howard Mays, Jr. is honored for his hard work and sacrifice, recognized for his inspiration to future generations, and celebrated for his historic feats achieved while playing the game he loved.
Mr. President, move adoption of the resolution, asking that all members be added to the resolution. Again, May 6th today would be the 94th birthday of Willie Mays, one of Alabama's sons, and we've been supporting this effort through even the budgetary process of what we're trying to do in Jefferson County to honor this great Alabamian.
All right, and you wanted everybody added as co-sponsors, is that correct? All senators?
Yes, Mr. President.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. All right, move for adoption.
Move for adoption.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Thanks, Senator Coleman.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Senator Gudger.
Mr. President, thank you. I've got a resolution, please, sir.
All right, any objection to receiving the resolution? Hearing none, so ordered. Secretary Reed, receive the resolution, please.
Got it. Hit it.
Senate Joint Resolution number 92 by Senator Gudger encouraging the Alabama Growth Alliance to develop recommendations for the enhancement of rural Alabama through the Alabama Rural Roadmap.
Mr. President,
Senator Gudger.
I'd like to make a motion that all senators be added to this resolution.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. President,
Senator Gudger.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt this resolution using short roll without objection.
All right, all those in favor say aye. All right, any objection? All right, resolution's adopted.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Senator Gudger. All right, any other motions or resolutions? All right. All right, local bills are contested, so then Senator Wagner.
Mr. President, have a report from the Committee on Rules.
All right, Secretary Reed received the report from the Committee on Rules.
From the Committee on Rules, Senate Resolution number 93, Special Order Calendar. Be it resolved by the Senate of the Legislature of Alabama that immediately upon the adoption of this resolution, the following business in the order set forth below shall be a special and paramount order of business for the 28th legislative day, taking precedence over the regular order of business or any pending or unfinished business. On page 51 of the calendar, House Bill number 307 by Representatives Hill and Carnes regarding the courts. On page 24, House Bill number 84 by Representative Woods regarding the Board of Chiropractic Examiners. On page 12, House Bill number 25 by Representative Oliver regarding 911 boards. On page 69, House Bill 407 by Representative Ingram regarding local redevelopment authorities. On page 39, House Bill 152 by Representative Rafferty and others regarding taxation. On page 50, House Bill 333 by Representative Faulkner and others regarding law enforcement training facilities. On page 32, House Bill number 94 by Representative Gavan regarding crimes and offenses. On page 63, House Bill number 95 by Representative Sells regarding consumer protection. On page 45, House Bill number 281 by Representative Allman and others regarding municipal zoning boards of adjustment. On page 77, House Bill number 263 by Representative Oliver and Wood regarding the 911 fund. On page 26, House Bill number 134 by Representative Ingram regarding motor vehicles. On page 91, House Bill 158 by Representative Klaus and Reynolds regarding the RSA. On page 95, House Bill 225 by Representative Hollis and Wood regarding the Real Estate Commission. On page 95, House Bill number 382 by Representative Keel regarding real estate transactions. On page 31, House Bill 287 by Representatives Gavan and others regarding police departments. On page 37, House Bill number 338 by Representative Moore, P., regarding the Alabama Security Board of Licensure. On page 19, House Bill number 52 by Representative Garrett and Allman regarding income taxes. On page 29, House Bill 335 by Representatives Witt and Shaw regarding building permits. On page 22, House Bill number 266 by Representative Woods and others regarding the Restoring Educational Advancement of Completing High School Act. And on page 117, House Bill number 441 by Representative Standridge and Collins regarding the Board of Examiners for Speech, Language, Pathology, and Audiology.
Mr. President, move adoption of the report from the Committee on Rules.
All right.
Mr. President, I'd like to
Senator
speak to the
Singleton.
motion.
Hey,
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a good calendar that we have here today in these last few days. It is my understanding that some of my colleagues went to Tuscaloosa on last week and spoke to the commander-in-chief and took pictures and all. What I would like to know is, why did y'all let him cut Big Bird on Friday? He cut Sesame Street, PBR. The president to cut Big Bird. Now, how y'all let Big Bird get cut? NPR, All Things Science, get cut. So now Big Bird got to go. Schoolhouse Rock, conjunction, junction, what's your function? I'm just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill. Y'all just let all the good stuff that kids was learning, your commander-in-chief cut Big Bird. I saw Big Bird down on 3rd Avenue in Birmingham looking for a ride, trying to find a new job. He and Oscar, I mean, the kids are gonna lose out. What else is this man gonna do? I can't believe y'all let him cut Big Bird, man. Big Bird didn't do nobody no harm. Big Bird, I guess maybe he's just yelling, not orange. Maybe that's the problem. You just cut Big Bird, man. So I'm not gonna hold this calendar long. I just wanted to remind y'all that while y'all was kissing the rain, he was cutting Big Bird. Big Bird need a job. We need to bring Big Bird, Oscar, the Grunch, and everybody else back. All right? Thank you very much, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the calendar.
using previous role. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
32 ayes, 0 nays. The special order calendar is adopted. Art Secretary, call the first bill.
On page 51 of the calendar, House Bill number 307 by Representatives Hill and Carnes regarding the courts.
Senator Barfoot.
Mr. President, thanks so much. Members of the Senate, this is a bill that has been on our calendar now for several times. I'm just pleased that we've got an opportunity now to get to that. I'd move for final passage of HB 307 using previous role.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
32 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 307 passes.
Mr. President, I take
Senator
a moment of
Barfoot.
personal privilege.
Art, you're recognized.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the bill that we just passed, the speedy trial bill, let me kind of give you some background on that. And I just want to tell you, there was a horrific murder in 2022. Nathan Gemeinhart was a victim, and that case is still pending. His wife, Jessica, and their family have had to deal with this situation, this horrible occurrence, for the past 3 years. And because of her pain and because of what Nathan went through and his family continues to experience, that is the genesis of that bill. And I just want everyone here to know, today we have passed a bill that will hopefully give some relief to those victims throughout the state who've experienced some horrible, horrible crimes, some resolution, some quick trials, speedy trial bill. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Senator Barfoot. And you want me to recognize your guests now as well?
Yes, if you would.
Okay, yeah. Senator Barfoot has some guests in the gallery. When I call your name, if you could please stand. Gary Davenport, the mayor of the town of Electric. David Goodwin, Jackie Stearns, Stephanie Stepney, council members, and then Shannon Duck, the town clerk. If y'all could please stand. Welcome to Alabama Senate. All right, Secretary, call the next bill, please.
On page 24 of the calendar, House Bill number 84 by Representative Woods regarding the Board of Chiropractic Examiners.
Mr. President, this bill is one that we've also had on the calendar a few times, deals with the Board of Chiropractic Examiners to get them in compliance with the national standards. I also have an amendment.
All right, Secretary Reed, receive the amendment, please.
Amendment to House Bill number 84 by Senator Kitchens. Replace line 203 through 204 on page 8 with the following. Replace line 207 on page 8 with the following.
Mr. President, what this amendment does, this just allows any college or university in the state. We currently do not have anyone who offers a chiropractic school in Alabama. This would allow them the opportunities to explore that option. So with that, I'd move for the adoption of the amendment.
All right, Senator Melson.
Thank you, Mr. President. So you're telling me the chiropractic bill needed adjustment?
It just needed a slight adjustment. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kitchen.
Thanks, Senator Melson. All right, final passage using previous roll.
Adoption of amendment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Using previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
33 ayes, 0 nays. The Senator Kitchens amendment's adopted. Senator Kitchens.
I'd move for final passage using previous roll without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
Thirty-three ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 84 passes. Thanks, Senator Kitchens. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 12 of the calendar, House Bill number 25 by Representative Oliver regarding 911 boards.
Mr. President.
Senator Hovey.
Yes, sir. I'd like to go ahead and move for final passage of House Bill 25 using previous roll if there is no objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
33 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 25 passes. Thank you, Senator Hovey. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 69 of the calendar, House Bill number 407 by Representative Ingram regarding local redevelopment authorities.
Mr. President, I'd move for final passage of HB 407 using previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
33 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 407 passes. Thanks, Senator Barfoot. Secretary, call the next House message.
On page 39 of the calendar, House Bill number 152 by Representative Rafferty and others regarding taxation.
Mr. President, this is a bill we've seen before, we passed before, and this time I'd move third reading using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 152 passes. Thanks, Senator Orr.
Thank you.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill on the calendar.
On page 50 of the calendar, House Bill number 333 by Representative Faulkner and others regarding municipalities.
Mr. President,
Senator Wagner.
this would allow 2 or more municipalities to open a municipal training center. There's some folks in Jefferson County that want to build one, and I move passage of House Bill 333 using the previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 333 passes. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 32 of the calendar, House Bill number 94 by Representative Gavan regarding crimes and offenses.
Senator Singleton.
Mr. President, move for third reading be dispensed with use of previous roll without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 94 passes. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 63 of the calendar, House Bill number 95 by Representative Sells regarding consumer protection.
Mr. President.
Senator Livingston.
Mr. President, this allows that the unexpired manufacturer's warranty on heating and cooling units be allowed to be transferred with a house if it's sold or a home is sold. With that, I move third reading using previous roll with no objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 95
Thank
passes.
you, Mr. President.
Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 45, House Bill number 281 by Representative Allman and others regarding municipal zones of adjustment.
President, I have an amendment.
All right, Secretary Reed, we're going to see the amendment, please.
Amendment to House Bill number 281 by Senator Chambliss. Replace lines 52 on page 2 with the following. Replace line 62 on page 3 with the following.
Mr. President, I move adoption of the amendment using previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The Senator Chambliss amendment is adopted. All right, Senator Chambliss.
Mr. President, I move final passage using previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
Thirty-four ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 281 passes.
Thank you, Mr.
Thanks, Senator
President.
Chambliss. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 77 of the calendar, House Bill number 263 by Representatives Oliver and Wood, D, regarding the 911 fund.
Senator Price.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a bill as far as 911 that will help our local districts, and without any questions, go ahead, sir.
All right, Senator Beasley.
Mr. President, can I be recognized?
Yes, sir, you're recognized.
Senator Price, I was wondering if you would, I have an amendment I'd like to offer, see if you'd be agreeable to it. There are a lot of emergency management groups throughout Alabama that are really struggling financially, and there are a lot of counties in Alabama that really don't have any EMT services at all. They kind of say it's kind of a desert, and this amendment would allow to create a grant program for rural EMT providers equally.
Senator Beasley, if we could, I was carrying this bill for Senator Bell, and he has had to step out for an appointment. So if it's okay with the president, what I'd like to do, where we can take care of this bill today and take care of your amendment, is to carry this bill over to the call of the chair and then let Senator Bell get back.
That's fine.
All right, any objection to carrying over a call of the chair? All right, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, House Bill 263 is carried over, call of the chair.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 26 of the calendar, House Bill number 134 by Representative Ingram regarding motor vehicles.
Mr. President, move for final passage of HB 134 using previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 134 passes. Thanks, Senator Barfoot. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 91 of the calendar, House Bill number 158 by Representative Klaus and Reynolds regarding the RSA. Committee amendment pending.
Mr. President, I move to table the committee amendment using previous roll.
All right, all those in favor, just note, yeah, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Committee amendment is tabled.
Thank you. Mr. President, I have an amendment.
All right, Secretary Reed received the amendment.
Amendment to House Bill number 158 by Senator Barfoot. Replace line 42 on page 2 with the following. Replace lines 73 and 74 on page 3 with the following. Replace lines 115 through 117 on page 5 with the following.
Mr. President, move for adoption of the amendment using previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The Senator Barfoot amendment is adopted. All right, Senator Barfoot.
Mr. President, move for final passage of HB 158 as amended using previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 158 passes amended. Thanks, Senator Barfoot. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 95 of the calendar, House Bill number 225 by Representative Hollis and Wood, D, regarding the Real Estate Commission.
Mr. President, request third reading to be dispensed of using previous roll. No objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
All right, 34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 225 passes. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Secretary, call next bill.
On page 95 of the calendar, House Bill number 382 by Representative Keel regarding real estate transactions.
Senator Carnley.
Mr. President, request third reading dispense of using previous roll. No objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 382 passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks, Senator Carnley. All right, Secretary, call next bill.
On page 31 of the calendar, House Bill number 287 by Representative Gavan and others regarding the Alabama Justice Information Commission.
President.
Senator Smithland.
I'd like to move to carry this bill over.
Just carry over straight or carry?
Carry it over.
All right, all those.
Well, I'll wait a minute. So what now?
I'm sorry, you're carrying it over?
Yeah.
All right.
Want me to carry it over, call the chair?
I would like to, at least we could talk about why we're carrying it over.
Okay, good.
Carried over, call the chair?
Yes, sir.
Any objection? All right, hearing none, so ordered. House Bill 287 is carried over, call the chair. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 37 of the calendar, House Bill number 338 by Representative Moore, P, regarding the Alabama Electronic Security Board of Licensure.
Senator Sessions.
Mr. President, I have a floor amendment.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the floor amendment.
They gonna go get me a legitimate copy. I just had a copy I brought from my office. Basically, what this bill is gonna do is.
Do you want to carry this over, call the chair, and come back to it?
We can. Move to carry it over to call the chair.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. House Bill 338 is carried over, call the chair. Secretary, call next bill.
On page 19 of the calendar, House Bill number
I don't wanna slow down
52
progress.
by Representative Garrett and Almond regarding income tax.
Senator Orr.
Mr. President.
All right, Senator Orr.
Move adoption of the substitute, Mr. President.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the substitute.
Substitute for House Bill 52 by Senator Orr.
Move adoption of the substitute using previous rule.
All right, any objection using previous roll? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senator Orr substitutes adopted. All right, Senator Orr.
Move third reading using the previous rule.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 52 passes. Thanks, Senator Orr. Secretary, call next bill.
On page 29 of the calendar, House Bill number 335 by Representatives Witt and Shaw regarding building permits.
Senator Gavan.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this bill is trying to spread across the state what we have been doing in Huntsville. We call it NAHA, North Alabama Home Building Academy. And what they are doing there is they're having a unique program to train people for our home building industry and also servicing existing homes, whether that be carpentry, plumbing, HVAC, and so forth. And our association started that, won national accolades. When I say our association, our home building association there in Madison County. And this is something we feel like would benefit the entire state if we moved it along and allowed other communities to add to their local building permits. This is permissive. It's not a mandatory thing, and that they would we'd be able to have a more trained workforce for housing across this state. See my colleague across the way.
Oh, I don't think he's there for questions.
Oh, I thought you were there for.
I'm good, unless you want to talk about it a little bit. What, your occupational, which license was this?
This would be for building permits, and so the building permits,
General
basically
contractor?
the home builders would be taxing themselves basically to support this industry if the local community did it. And this is something, we do it in Huntsville. I'm not sure, honestly, I'm not sure if Madison County does it. I know Huntsville City does it. I think Madison City does it as well.
So it'd benefit Mobile home builders, they could benefit from this, in Baldwin
Right.
County. A lot of home building going on down there right now, too.
So, well, and we've got I don't know what the average age, it's just like farming. I mean, almost everything, the average age of the tradesperson is on up there, and we've got to work to improve things. And one of the issues is how much more this program can respond, because it's driven by, it all came out of private industry. And while we are working with groups like Drake State up in Madison County and working on some credits there, and we do like I use some of my discretionary funding to provide a utility trailer, or it's more than a utility trailer, but basically to take the show on the road, if you will, to go to our public schools and take these programs to the public schools and show those kids how to do the work. And so it's just helping to develop that workforce that's out there, because again, these folks are aging out, and it's hard to recruit people to fit in the calendar of the public school system. They sort of got, this is how we do things, and this is, this is how many credits we got to have to be accredited, and you got to have this many hours, and not necessarily focusing on this is what we need right now, this is what we need to teach, and this is how we need to teach it. And we can use a part-time person that maybe not, doesn't have the credentials. He knows how to do the work, but maybe not credentialed enough to get a job with the public school system.
Yeah.
So it's been a great resource for our community.
Kind of like some of our local high schools are teaching some trades. We have a big shipbuilding industry. We got a teacher in the shop. He was actually a retired welder from Ingalls Shipbuilding, and he's teaching the welding class. He's teaching them not only how to do it, but do it to the point that when they get out of school, they can go right to the shipyard and get a job. So you're going to try and take this into the building craft. So this trailer that the road show that they're, so to speak, it's what all do they have on it? Do they have the table saws and stuff like that where they're teaching them how to cut and fit, or electrical wiring schematics? What all is it entailing?
It looks like a traveling tool show is what I recall from it. But most of the work now is actually done on an independent site that they lease, that they're in Madison County and in Huntsville. And the kids come there. And there's some homeless people that have come through the program, a number of different, I guess, non-traditional students, maybe different ages. And it's not just, it's not just young men. I mean, it's been women go through the program. So it's a number of different folks have gone through there, and it's really helped beefed up the community. I mean, I've had people just hounding me to make sure this got on the calendar, and because they want to see this go across the state. Because I guess part of it is we don't want to just train the workforce there and then have other people steal them from our community, So
that seems to happen
the
a lot
love
in this state. We educate them and they go somewhere else.
That's right.
But I think we're perhaps ready. If you are, I don't have any more questions on this.
All right.
Thank you all. I would move for final passage using previous rule without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Strawbritton. Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 335 passes. Thank you, Senator Gavan.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Could I call back up House Bill 338 that was at the call of the chair?
Yeah, Secretary, call up House Bill 338.
On page 37 of the calendar, House Bill number 338 by Representative Moore, P., regarding the Alabama Electronic Security Board of Licensure.
Mr. President, I have an amendment.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the amendment.
Amendment to House Bill 338 by Senator Sessions. Replace line 101 on page 4 with the following. Replace line 113 on page 5 with the following. Replace line 152 on page 6 with
Mr. President, I move to adopt the amendment using previous roll without objection.
All right, using the short roll?
Short roll.
All right, any objection to using the short roll? Hearing none, so ordered.
Strawbritton. Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The Senator Sessions amendment's adopted. Senator Sessions.
Yeah, what this bill does, we had an issue with your local hardware stores, your local grocery stores, your Walmarts, your Tractor Supplies. They all have key-making abilities within the store. There was some questions as to the legality to deal with the locksmith board. This just kind of some clarifying language to make sure that when you need a key for your back door, you can go down to your local hardware store and get that key made. The amendment basically took out the automotive electric key fobs to where make sure that we weren't making duplicates of those because of the risk of theft and things like that. But this little issue that come up in my part of the world, one of my local stores that made keys, so want to make sure that we get this done this year, and I'm certainly glad to see it on the calendar here this close to the end of the session. If there are no questions, I would ask for final passage using a previous roll without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Strawbritton. Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 338 passes. Thanks, Senator Sessions. All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 22 of the calendar, House Bill number 266 by Representative Woods and others regarding the Educational Advancement Completing High School Act.
Mr. President, I'd move third reading of HB 266 using the previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 266 passes. Thanks, Senator Orr. Secretary, call next bill.
On page 117 of the calendar, House Bill number 441 by Representatives Standridge and Collins regarding the Board of Examiners for Speech Language Pathology and Audiology. Committee substitute pending.
Mr. President, I'd like to adopt the committee substitute using short roll without objection.
Any object? You want to talk on the substitute?
I have a question.
Okay.
Mr. Pro Tem, I have a question on this because I haven't seen the substitute. But I got an email from people in the industry. Can you explain what this is? Because it says Alabama Board of Examiners for Speech Language Pathology and Audiology, minimum educational qualifications. The concerns that they had in the email, these are people who are professional, have gone and gotten training to do this. Because what we deal with is school speech therapists, hospitals, nursing home, people who have had strokes and what have you. So they all go through, you know, this type of speech therapy. Their concern is that if we are allowing people with minimal qualifications, that is going to be injurious to people who they serve in schools and nursing homes who are required to have this therapy, and it puts additional work on them trying to supervise or go back and correct errors and mistakes that they have caused. So I'm trying to get a clarification of this because I have a little nephew that's autistic, and of course he takes speech therapy. But again, you have a lot of people in nursing homes and hospitals that they do this for as well. And so I'm concerned about, can you explain exactly what this bill entails? Because when you say minimal educational requirements.
Thank you, Senator. There's different qualifications from the junior college system. The junior college system that's at Wallace State Community College has had a healthcare system which is different than most of the other junior college systems. And we've had that for a while, since when my father was there as Dean of Students. And so they opened this particular program up years ago. And so when they passed this particular associate's degree, they're trying to get them into having that qualification so they can go into the industry. Right now, they're not able to until they go do other stuff. So they're trying to be able to have that as an opening from the Wallace State Community College up through the process into that speech pathology.
Can we turn the volume up a little bit? I'm not hearing it. Maybe it's me. I don't know.
Volume.
If y'all could keep it down where they can hear the discussion, please.
Ooh, thank you. Okay. I'm sorry, Senator. I missed most of what you were saying.
That's not a problem. This particular bill, let me tell you the origin of it, is from Wallace State Community College. The president that's there, Dr. Vicki Halsey, she's allowed us to be able to go through this program. She's had a health care system, which is unusual to most of the other junior college systems, that's had a speech pathology since my father was Dean of Students there in the 70s. So from that, once they get through with their associate's degree, they would have to go and do other particular qualifications before they could enter into that program so they could help your nephew, you said, is that correct? With the associate's degree, they're trying to go ahead and get them a funnel so they're able to use their degrees to get in there, because there's a lack of speech pathologists every year. And so by doing that, and they're leaving our states and we don't have enough, they're trying to allow that to happen since they have that program, is what this is about.
You're right. There is a shortage.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're trying to get more of these people who are speech language pathologist assistants in the program. My concern is exactly what will they be doing? Are they going to be, well, I know they would have to work under somebody that is already certified and degreed or what have you in this area. And that was the concern. I think the people in the industry are concerned about maybe the extra workload that it might put on them, having to serve the clients that they have and trying to supervise. So I'm just trying to figure out how it's going to work.
And I apologize on that. Can you tell me that last part again? I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to figure out how this is going to work with Are they having so many people assigned to 5 people to supervise for the people who are certified under this? The people in the industry who are already certified are concerned about this is going to cause an extra workload on them and how they, I guess, supervise the people that they are putting under. But they're also serving in the capacity as a speech pathologist or audiologist and not really fully trained in what they're doing.
Well, they're going to have an associate's degree. So when you say fully trained, are you wanting them to have more than that to get into the system to start as an assistant?
Well,
speech
I
pathologist?
guess the concern I have, and probably the red flag, is minimal requirements, and I don't exactly know if you have. Do you know what minimal requirements would mean and what that would entail or allow them to be able to do?
I would love to tell you that I do, but I do not. But I'm more than welcome to carry this over for a minute. Let me find that out and let you know that back.
I'd appreciate that. Thank
If we
you.
can do that, then I've got somebody else that wants to come up at the end of this. So if that's all right, I'd like to make a motion to carry this over at the call of the chair.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. House Bill 441 is carried over to call of the chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Senator Bell.
Mr. President, asked to call back up HB 263.
All right, Secretary, call up HB 263, please.
On page 77 of the calendar, House Bill number 263 by Representatives Oliver and Wood regarding the 911 fund.
Mr. President, I ask for final passage of HB 263. We have a good roll. On previous roll, no objections.
All right, any objections? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 263 passes. Thanks, Senator Bell.
Mr. President,
Senator Wagner.
I have a report from the Committee on Rules.
All right, Secretary Reed received the report from the Committee on Rules.
From the Committee on Rules, Senate Resolution number 94, Special Order Calendar. Be it resolved by the Senate of the Legislature of Alabama that immediately upon the adoption of this resolution, the following business in the order set forth below shall be a special and paramount order of business for the 28th legislative day, taking precedence over the regular order of business or any pending or unfinished business. On page 9, House Bill number 38 by Representative Hill regarding district attorneys. On page 88, House Bill number 163 by Representative Faulkner regarding tax cuts. On page 91, House Bill number 353 by Representative Hill regarding the courts. On page 92, House Bill 354 by Representative Hill regarding district attorneys. On page 110, House Bill number 542 by Representative Shaver and others regarding district attorneys. On page 61, House Bill 366 by Representative Ream and others regarding police dogs. On page 106, House Bill 379 by Representative Garrett regarding income tax. On page 107, House Bill number 386 by Representative Garrett and others regarding sales and use taxes. On page 105, House Bill number 86 by Representative Collins regarding the Rural Hospital Investment Program. On page 12, House Bill number 196 by Representative Wilcox regarding juvenile detention. On page 20, House Bill number 43 by Representative Hill regarding criminal procedure.
Mr. President, move adoption of the report from the Committee on Rules using short roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The special order calendar is adopted. Secretary, call the first bill.
On page 9 of the calendar, House Bill number 38 by Representative Hill regarding district attorneys.
Senator Smitherman.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill is related to district attorneys and adds to Section 1217-184 and Section 1217-184.2 to the Code of Alabama to provide that a prosecuting attorney advising a law enforcement officer or a law enforcement agency on certain matters is deemed a prosecutorial function and to provide for legislative findings. I think everybody in judiciary remember this bill where it was basically saying that the DA could advise law enforcement on matters, and really was why they was in active, I think having active cases. They were at scenes and they got some advice from them. So if anyone have any questions, please feel free to come. If not, then I'll move for final passage and unanimous consent to use previous role.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 38 passes. Thanks, Senator Smitherman.
Thank you.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 88 of the calendar, House Bill number 163 by Representative Faulkner regarding the Decoupling Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Committee amendment pending.
Mr. President, there's a committee amendment.
All right.
I'd move adoption using previous role without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The committee amendment's adopted. All right, Senator Roberts.
Mr. President, I'd like to move third reading, final passage using previous role without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 163 passes. Thanks, Senator Roberts.
Mr. President,
Senator Gudger.
I'd like to call a bill up from the call of the chair.
All right, which bill?
It'd be HB 441.
All right, Secretary, call up House Bill HB 441, please.
Thank you.
On page 117 of the calendar, House Bill number 441 regarding licensing boards. Committee substitute pending.
Senator Gudger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm sorry. We had a question on that earlier on HB 441, what are the minimum requirements. The issue on that was that there's 30 semester credit hours at the community college or university in speech and hearing sciences on communication disorders. That does not allow them to go directly as a speech pathologist. That allows them to be an assistant only. But if somebody's in higher ed or somebody's getting a master's, once they hit that level of 30 credit hours, they're able to get into that industry, so they're able to start making money and making sure that that's the industry for them. But that's the minimum that you were asking about, Senator, and so I just want to make sure I gave you a correct answer.
And I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, if I may. But it also mentions that additionally, a speech language pathologist assistant in an associate degree program shall also successfully complete not less than 100 clinical practicum hours under the supervision of a credentialed speech language pathologist. And so I understand that the community colleges is now in support of this, but we all have to go through a practicum. We just want to make sure that there is a process and that is just not the minimum, and they can just start working, start dealing with clients on this. Thank you so much. So
Thank you, Senator. I appreciate you calling that to our attention. I appreciate it. At this time, I'd like to make a motion for final adoption of actually, I've got an amendment.
Hold on, we got the substitute.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You want to adopt the substitute?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the substitute using short roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
All right, 34 ayes, 0 nays. The committee substitute's adopted. All right, Senator Gudger.
I've got a motion for an amendment to be added, please.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the amendment.
I'll make a motion to carry over at the call of the chair until I get this other copy. I'd like to make a motion to carry this over at the call of chair.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Thank you.
All right. House Bill 441 is carried over. Call the chair. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 91 of the calendar, House Bill number 353 by Representative Hill regarding courts. Committee amendment pending.
Mr. President, move for adoption of the committee amendment using previous rule.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The committee amendment's adopted.
Mr. President, I move for final passage of HB 353 as amended using previous roll.
All right, any objection?
May I, Mr. President?
Yeah, you're recognized.
Thank you. We've got 3 bills coming up with DAs on this. We just passed one. You got this one, and then we have another one coming up after this. Do you know how these are interrelated?
I do. I mean, the next bill on the calendar is the constitutional amendment that would require, obviously, a CA, a vote of the people, to make those changes. And the reason the CA is needed is because currently under Alabama law or the Constitution, if there is a change, either increasing or decreasing the salary of a district attorney, it has to be changed in the Constitution. So the first bill I think that was on the calendar was, and I hate the word immunity, but gave some discretion or ability for prosecutors to advise those in law enforcement about what's proper and give some legal advice.
No, I'm not talking about that. I apologize. The one that there's one that's here. My concern is that we're doing with the CA, we're doing something here with the attorneys or with the district attorneys where they're going to be getting some monies. Can we make some comparison notes on these before we move forward?
If you're asking me to carry this bill over,
if you don't mind,
let's call the chair.
Let's make a comparison, you and I, on this before we move forward, if that's okay.
No, I'll be glad to do that, Mr. President. I move to carry HB 353 over to the call of the chair.
All right, any objection?
No.
Hearing none, so ordered. Secretary, call next bill.
On page 92 of the calendar, House Bill number 354 by Representative Hill regarding district attorneys.
Mr. President, I'd move to carry HB 354 over to the call of the chair.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
On page 110 of the calendar, House Bill number 542 by Representative Shaver and others regarding district attorneys.
Mr. President, may we carry this over to the call of the chair while we work out the details on these 3?
Sure.
If I may.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, any objection to carrying over House Bill 542? Call the chair. Hearing none, so ordered.
Thank you.
All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 61 of the calendar, House Bill number 366 by Representative Rim and others regarding police dogs.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Senator Jones.
This bill just simply allows a wounded police dog to be transported in EMS service if there's no human being that's in need of the service. So I move final passage using the previous roll without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 366 passes. Thanks, Senator Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Secretary, call next bill.
On page 106 of the calendar, House Bill number 379 by Representative Garrett regarding income tax.
Mr. President.
Senator Orr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would move third reading using the previous roll. Using the previous roll. Third reading.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 379 passes. Thanks, Senator Orr. Secretary, call next bill.
On page 107 of the calendar, House Bill number 386 by Representative Garrett and others regarding taxes.
Mr. President, we have a committee substitute I'd like to adopt.
All right. I got to wait for it to get up on the screen. There it is. All right. Adoption of the committee substitute.
We got some things we're working out on this, so let me just go ahead and we're going to carry this bill over to the call of the chair, if that's all right, Mr. President.
Okay. Any objection to carrying over call of the chair? Hearing none, so ordered.
Thank you.
On page 105 of the calendar, House Bill number 86 by Representative Collins regarding the Rural Hospital Investment Program. Committee amendments pending.
Mr. President,
Senator Singleton.
do you have an amendment or something?
Sorry? You go
Move for the adoption of the committee amendment. Use the previous role without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
Thirty-four ayes, 0 nays. The committee amendment's adopted. All right, Senator Singleton.
Mr. President, move for third reading,
One more amendment we need
One
to
more
adopt.
amendment. Move for amendment number 2. Move for adoption amendment number 2. Use the previous role without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Committee amendment number 2 is adopted.
Mr. President, move for third reading be dispensed with use of previous role without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 86 passed. Thanks, Senator Singleton. All right, Secretary, call next bill, please.
On page 12 of the calendar, House Bill number 196 by Representative Wilcox regarding juvenile detention.
Mr. President,
Senator.
I would like to move for, I'm sorry, I thought you were going to say Senator Figures, but okay.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I just got kind of
Yeah, Senator Figures.
distracted.
There we go.
That's okay. I move for final passage of HB 196, reading at length to be dispensed with without objection, please.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 196 passes. Thanks, Senator
Thank
Figures.
you, Mr. President, and thank you, members of the Senate.
All right. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 20 of the calendar, House Bill number 43 by Representative Hill regarding criminal procedure.
Mr. President.
Senator Bell.
HB 43 basically gives the judge's discretion on a split sentence. Instead of 5 years, they can go up to 10 years on a split sentence with a 30-year sentence. So it's basically just giving the judge discretion to do more with the defendant. Also, if they recommit a new offense or do violate probation, then he can bring them back and split it again or remain the 30-year sentence. Move for final passage. Using previous rule, no objection.
All right, any objection? All right, hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
All right, 33 ayes, 1 nay. House Bill 43 passes. All right, Senator Orr, you wanted a moment of personal privilege?
Sure, I was headed over there to discuss with Pro Tem the importance of good legislation, which we've done today, Mr. President. And you've seen a lot of bills go through here, and certainly the good bipartisanship nature of the body today is certainly a good thing to see, and we've seen that happen, and that's a very positive thing for our body. Certainly love to take points of personal privilege to talk about the comity and love that we have here in the Alabama Senate for one another as colleagues, regardless of party, regardless of geography, and regardless of gender or any other distinguishing factor. So certainly an important thing to do. One thing that we are having the bill brought up that Senator Jones carried over to the call of the chair just a moment ago, House Bill 386, I believe it was, which is the grocery tax, and they're printing an amendment, just a brief amendment to clarify something that the Department of Revenue needed, and that's coming upstairs from LFO as we talk. I've got a page down there waiting to rush in the door. And then Senator Jones is on deck and waiting anxiously to come once again and deal with the grocery tax reduction. Ought to get him a black robe and a sickle as he chops away pennies from the grocery tax for the working people of this state. So now I'm going to be joined by my colleagues from St. Clair County so he doesn't have to listen to me.
All right, thank you for that.
Yes,
all right.
you're so welcome.
Senator Bell, do you want to be recognized for a point of personal privilege?
I do, sir.
All right, you're recognized.
I just learned that Our film bill naming the Alabama Entertainment Office has passed downstairs. We'll be headed across the street. So hopefully, with all the movies that's made in Georgia, we can start bringing some over here where Senator Stewart over there, Senator Stewart, where Selma was filmed in Georgia, we can start having these films done over here. And I know Senator Coleman has been involved in it in the Birmingham area, and it's just great. Maybe we can start having some of this in Alabama. They added $2 million to music videos, and I'd love to see some new films coming and have them shot here. Maybe we could even get the Lieutenant Governor and Secretary of the Senate, some of those in some of these films or music videos or something in the future. Get them going.
All right, Senator Gudger, you ready? All right. All right. Senator Bell, thank you for.
Thank you.
Yes, that was good.
You're a movie star already.
Yeah. All right.
Mr. President,
Senator Gudger.
I'd like to make a motion to pull up a bill from call of the chair out of order, which would be HB 441.
All right, Secretary, call HB 441, please.
On page 117 of the calendar, House Bill number 441 by Representative Standridge and others regarding the Alabama Board of Examiners for Speech Pathology and Audiology. Amendment pending.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution.
Or the amendment?
Resolution amendment. Yeah.
Previous roll?
Using previous roll without
All right.
objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Hold on. We got to check the amendment
All right. The motion is adoption of the amendment using previous roll. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The Senator Gudger amendment's adopted. All right, Senator Gudger.
Thank you, Mr. President. And now I'd like to make a motion for final passage of HB 441, using a short roll without objection, please, sir.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 441 passes. Thanks, Senator Gudger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate all your help, buddy.
Yeah. Congratulations. All right, Secretary Senator Jones.
Mr. President, I'd like to bring up HB 386, which is at the call of the chair.
All right, Secretary, call up House Bill 386.
On page 107 of the calendar, House Bill number 386 by Representative Garrett and others regarding sales and use taxes. Substitute pending.
All right. Okay, we're on the substitute.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt the substitute, and I'm going to kind of explain what it does.
All right, go ahead.
Previous roll, without objection.
All right. Any objection to using previous roll? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
All right, 34 ayes, 0 nays. The committee substitute's adopted. All right, Senator Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're working on a technical amendment from the Department of Revenue, and I'm just going to kind of explain a little bit about the bill and what it does. In the meantime, while we're waiting on our colleague, Senator Orr, to bring that back. Of course, this takes the next cent off of the state sales tax on groceries. You may remember we passed legislation 2 years ago to basically take down a penny at a time. We took off the first cent. The second cent was going to come off when we hit a growth metric of 3.5%. We have not met that, but our budget chairman feel comfortable in going ahead and moving forward with taking that next cent off of the grocery tax. It's a big deal. It's a big tax cut. I think the fiscal note is $121.9 million. So Senator Orr is here with his technical amendment. So I would yield to my colleague, Senator Orr, for his amendment.
All right, Senator Orr. Secretary, read and receive the amendment, please.
An amendment to the substitute for House Bill 386.
Mr. President, I always get concerned when they pour over things to see if they fit or not. You know, I just say it fits. I'm sure it fits. Been rejected too many times.
All right, Senator Orr, it fits.
Oh, it always fits.
All right, good.
They always
Thought you
are
would
so
like that.
skeptical up there. You know, if they just trust me, Mr. President, you know, just trust me. This
Trust
comes
but
from the
verify.
Department. Touche. This comes from the Department of Revenue. This is a clarifying amendment regarding sales and use taxes, making sure that they equal each other. And at this time, I'd move adoption of the amendment using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. The Senator Orr amendment's adopted. All right, Senator Jones.
All right, if there are no other questions this time, I will move for final passage using the previous roll without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
All right, 34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 386 passes.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mr.
Senator
President.
Jones. Thanks, Senator Orr. Senator Barfoot.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd move 350, HB 353 was carried over the call of the chair, and I move to bring that bill back up.
All right, Secretary, call House Bill 353, is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
All right, House Bill 353.
On page 91 of the calendar, House Bill number 353 by Representative Hill regarding district attorneys.
Mr. President, move for final passage of HB 353 as amended using previous roll.
All right.
Yes, we've had our discussions. Everything's worked out. We know what we're doing now.
All right, good. Any objection to using previous roll? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 353 passes. All right,
Thank
Senator
you, Mr.
Barfoot.
President. Mr. President, I move to bring back up HB 354. It was carried over the call of the chair.
All right, Secretary, call up House Bill 354.
On page 92 of the calendar, House Bill number 354 by Representative Hill, a proposed constitutional amendment relating to terms of office.
Mr. President, I'd move for final passage of HB 354 using previous roll.
All right, any objection? All right, you want the long roll? All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Aye. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot.
Aye.
Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shellnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams.
All right, 29 ayes, 1 nay. House Bill 354 passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, previously had HB 542 carried over to the call of chair. I'd request we bring that forward at this time.
All right, Secretary, call House Bill 542?
542, yes.
All right, 542, please.
On page 110 of the calendar, House Bill number 542 by Representative Shaver and others regarding district attorneys.
Mr. President, I'd move for third reading, final passage, used in previous role without objection.
All right, any objection? All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton.
Aye.
Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams.
All right, 31 aye, 1 nay. House Bill 542 passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Senator Wagner.
President.
Senator Wagner.
I have a report from Committee on Rules.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the report from the Committee on Rules.
From the Committee on Rules, Senate Resolution number 95, Special Order Calendar. Be it resolved by the Senate of the Legislature of Alabama that immediately upon the adoption of this resolution, the following business in the order set forth below shall be the special and paramount order of business for the 28th legislative day taking precedence over the regular order of business or any pending or unfinished business. On page 89 of the calendar, House Bill number 288 by Representative Mooney and others regarding the Commission on Higher Education. On page 96, House Bill number 8 by Representative Drummond regarding the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. On page 78, House Bill 529 by Representative Faulkner regarding taxation. On page 79, House Bill 445 by Representative Witt regarding cannabinoids. On page 109, House Bill number 600 by Representative Almond and others regarding taxation. On page 28, House Bill 157 by Representative Lee regarding county officials. On page 37, House Bill 194 by Representative Lee regarding the Medical Examiners Board and Nursing Board. On page 67, House Bill number 346 by Representative Lee regarding physicians. And on page 36, House Bill 147 by Representative Pettis regarding state government.
Mr. President.
Senator Wagner.
Move that we adopt the report from the Committee on Rules using the short roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
Thirty-two ayes, 0 nays. Special order calendar is adopted. All right, Secretary, call the first bill.
On page 89 of the calendar, House Bill number 288 by Representative Mooney and others regarding the Commission on Higher Education. Committee amendment pending.
Senator Chastain.
Yeah, Mr. President, I have committee amendments I'd like to adopt at this time.
All right.
House Bill 288.
Would you like to use previous roll?
Previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
32 ayes, 0 nays. Committee amendments adopted. All right, Senator Chastain.
We adopted the committee amendments?
We did.
No question. I move for final passage as amended using the previous roll.
All right, any objection?
Okay, all right, good. All right, so I move for final passage as amended.
Sure.
This is the the trainer bill that we had in committee. Okay, that's the bill.
All right, and your motion is a final passage using previous roll, correct?
Previous roll.
All right, any objection to that? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
$33 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 288 passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks, Senator. All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 96 of the calendar, House Bill number 8 by Representative Drummond regarding the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board.
Senator Sessions.
Mr. President, I have a floor substitute.
All right. Secretary, read and receive the substitute, please.
Mr. President.
Senator Gudger.
Thank you. Senator Sessions, I know this is yours, and if you don't mind.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Read in the substitute, then we'll go to y'all. Sorry about that.
Substitute for House Bill number 8 by Senator Sessions.
All right. Senator Gudger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to dialogue back and forth with my colleague, if that's possible. Senator Sessions, what I'd like to do on this particular bill, we've been trying to deal with this bill for about 4.5 years now, of going back and forth on how this affects everybody in your constituency and really all over this state, and how the state handles and regulates this. And so, do you want to talk a little bit about some of the things that's brought us up to this point and kind of where we are?
Yeah, sir. You know, Senator Gudger, I just want to first thank you for allowing me to handle your bill. I know you handled this last year. Representative Drummond has been working on this for 4 or 5 years. I remember the very first year she handled it. I handled it up here. We weren't successful. We have an epidemic going on in this state with our young people. They are getting sick. I think one of our colleagues said they had 6 in their county or in their area this past week that went to the hospital, and they had all had bad experience with a vape product. These products are harming our young people. We're not dealing with something that is a healthy product. This product is not a product that we should be ingesting into our lungs. So we are just trying to protect our children. You know, if you're 21 years old and you're old enough to make your own decisions, if you want to do something that's bad for your body, that's your choice. Hey, I'm good with that, but this is about our children. I have 5 huge reasons to pass this piece of legislation. My grandchildren.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I said, it's an honor to be able to drop this bill. And we can talk about it a good little bit. I know some other colleagues have some things. We had took some of their ideas and put into this. We don't want to be punitive to our kids. Young people make mistakes, and we don't want them to be necessarily punished harshly for those mistakes, but we do want them to learn from their mistakes. Senator Singleton had a good idea of making sure that our children are educated on this issue that they go to. There's you know, if they're under the age of 19, they have to go to have an educated course. You know, if they do it again, caught the second time, their parents have to be involved with this. So it's comprehensive. Representative Drummond have worked long and hard, and I do think this is one of the pieces of legislation that it really does a lot to protect the youth in this state. You know, are young people going to do crazy things and get a hold of some of these products? Yes, they are. And even passing this, we're not going to get rid of all of it. We're not going to take care of the entire problem, but we will go a long way into making sure that if it is, you know, we're not going to make it easy on them to get these products. Like I said before, you know, we're not dealing with whether this is chunky peanut butter or smooth peanut butter. We're dealing with a product that is unhealthy. It is unhealthy for adults as well as young people. So I just appreciate the opportunity to handle this. Be glad to dialogue and answer more questions.
Yeah, let me ask you a few more questions real quick, if you don't mind. If there is the schools that are being issues, I know you talked about the children, and you had 5 big ones. I saw you get choked up a little bit, and obviously that is not only sentimental, but it's personal to us. But when you start talking about schools, the superintendents, the principals of the schools, the teachers of the school, I mean, they're collecting these things in droves right now, correct?
It's a huge problem. You can go to any high school in this state, and the principals are probably taking up at least 100 every week. You know, it's nothing to go to a high school. I had a nephew of mine's a head football coach at a local high school. Just last week, had to go down for a little function at our high school, and I was telling him about the proposed legislation. He said, great. He said, yesterday we had a student arrive at school, could not get out of their vehicle. They had to call the ambulance to come get them. They had been vaping on something that was either laced or either they had ingested too much hazardous material on that. So, you know, that's it's a huge problem, and it's not just high schools. It's down in the middle schools. A young lady that works for me at our produce stand, her child's in middle school. She's on the bus. One of her young lady beside her on the bus asked another girl, hey, will you put this in your backpack? And the little girl with the backpack said, what is it? Because she said, oh, it's a vape, and I don't want to get caught with it. Well, she didn't get caught with it, but the trouble is the little girl that took it home, and the parents, every afternoon, evidently she had parents that worried about what she did and didn't do, and when they went through her backpack, getting her homework and getting her lunchbox out, they found that vape. Hey, what's this? And this is a middle school kid,
Yeah.
you know.
And when they get caught in school with a vape, a lot of different school systems have different rules and regulations, but when they get caught in school, then they get in trouble, whether it's theirs or their friends, and they were just having it in their backpack, correct? And
That's
so,
right. It doesn't matter whose it is. Yeah, if they get caught with it, they're going to just assume it's theirs.
Yeah.
And you know, this bill goes a long way into protecting the public, because also we're trying to make sure that anything that is allowed to be sold here is legal. It's a legitimate product. We're wanting to make sure we take all the illegal products off the market.
And there's some being sold right now from what we've studied. Is that correct? The legal items that are on the shelves on some of these stores, whether it's vape stores or convenience stores or even groceries. But at the same point, we do have illegal products that are out there right now that haven't been on the registry at this point, correct?
That's true.
Yeah, and so they're making extra money and more money that's on it. And so by doing that, having this been on the registry, which Barbara created, by the way, and has done a good job with it, but over the last 5 years, I think that she has tried to get this, and it's changed a little bit each year, and every time she's come up. I think that this is the year that we finally get to a point where everybody is settled in on this and realize how big of an issue this is, and we're moving forward on it.
It is a huge issue, and you know, perhaps, you know, anytime we deal with legislation, there may be some unintended consequences. And this is a very strict and very stringent piece of legislation. If there's an opportunity next year to figure out a way to help some of the good actors, I think that's something we should address. But at this stage of this year, for the health of our children, I think it's imperative that we pass this piece of legislation.
Exactly. You also work with Barbara Drummond, obviously, from Mobile and everything else that's going on with Barbara in her life. She's not here today, which I can't believe after 5 years, the day that we're probably going to pass
actually,
this.
she is.
She is here?
She is. She give up her schedule at home to be here for this.
Oh, well, wonderful anyway.
Extremely.
Is she downstairs?
She is. She's here.
We need to get her up here. So I'm going to see if he will ask you some questions. I might call her and tell her to come up if that's okay. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your support on this, okay, buddy? Thank you, Senator.
Mr. President.
Senator Singleton.
Senator Sessions, I share a lot of your concerns about our youth and this vape whole deal. And I know that this substitute is just coming out. Haven't had an opportunity to look at it, what's all in the substitute. Not that I don't believe what you say, but sometimes there are some things in it that we may think it could have other unintended consequences here or there. Would it be permissible that if you would just carry this over a minute, let me just kind of scour through it and look at this substitute, since it's just hitting the floor, no one has seen it, and it's hitting. I agree with it based on where you are, okay? And I just want to make sure we're doing all that we're saying that we're doing, and making sure, because even when we asked about it, we were told at LRS that we couldn't share it, nobody could share it, we didn't know what it is, and then it's just hitting the floor.
I understand, Senator, and I would be glad.
And I'm here to help you pass it if we.
Yeah, you know, if we need to take 30 minutes to let you look at it, if we got time, I think we got
I don't even
time.
need that long, hopefully, because my people are already starting to look at it, but just
Sure.
want to.
And I'm sure, listen, a legitimate company, a legitimate product, a legitimate wholesale, they're not going to have a big issue with it. They're not going to like the fact that we're taking them out of C-stores and grocery stores. But, and like I said, I think there is some compromise. I just don't think we could do it this year, but I think next year we might be able to bring in, because unfortunately we have a lot of bad actors that are selling to underage children, and I do understand we're actually going to punish some folks that are not bad actors. But to get this under control and get it to where ABC can operate and get a handle on it and really enforce the regulations, we need to shrink that down. But I'd be glad to carry this over to the call of the chair.
Yes.
All right.
For a while.
Got a motion to carry over call of the chair. Any objection?
Thank
Hearing
you,
none, so ordered. House Bill 8 is carried over call of the chair. Secretary, call the next bill on the calendar.
On page 78 of the calendar, House Bill number 529 by Representative Faulkner regarding taxation.
Yes, sir. This just deals with some taxation on adult products, so I'd move to final passage with previous roll without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Strawbritton, Mr. Williams.
$33 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 529 passes. Thanks, Senator Sessions. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 79 of the calendar, House Bill 445 by Representative Witt regarding cannabinoids.
Senator Melson.
Mr. President, I'd like to offer a substitute.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the substitute, please.
Substitute for House Bill 445 by Senator Melson.
Mr. President,
Senator Melson.
I'd like to adopt a substitute using the long row.
Mr. President.
All right, you want to speak to the substitute?
Could I be recognized?
Yes.
Senator, I'm trying to get some clarification on this substitute.
Right.
Because we just got it. I mean, minutes ago. And I'm going to need some time So if there's any way that, I don't want to do the first option, which is talk. So can we do option 2 and just right now carry it over to call of the chair? You can get it back up if necessary.
Before we do, I'd like to just explain a few things, and then I'll be glad to. What this substitute does essentially is it removes it from grocery stores. The last bill had grocery stores. This would take it out of grocery stores. But yes, I'll be glad to, but just to say that, this bill is just to protect the health and safety of residents, and it does it from the consumer side, mainly talks about things that have been done to protect them, and then it talks about the regulation and a few other things. But I'll be glad to talk to you.
Okay.
And we could discuss a few things.
Okay.
I don't think it's had any major changes, but I'll give you the time to look at that, okay?
Okay, that'd be fine.
All right, I'll carry it over to the call of the chair.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Thank you, Senator.
All right. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 109 of the calendar, House Bill number 600 by Representative Allman and others regarding taxation.
Mr. President, this is for the West Alabama Health Science School. I would like to move for third reading be dispensed with use of previous rule without objection.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
$34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 600 passes. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 28 of the calendar, House Bill number 157 by Representative Lee regarding county officials.
Mr. President, seeing no
Chambliss.
questions regarding this bill, I'd move final passage of HB 157 using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 157 passes. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 37 of the calendar, House Bill 194 by Representative Lee regarding the Medical Examiners Board and Nursing Board collaborative practice.
Mr. President.
Senator Chastain.
Yeah, I'd like to move for final passage using previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34
All right, 34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 194 passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 67 of the calendar, House Bill number 346 by Representative Lee regarding physicians.
Mr. President, move for final passage using previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 346 passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks, Senator Chastain. All right, Secretary, call the next bill.
On page 36 of the calendar, House Bill number 147 by Representative Pettis regarding state government.
Mr. President, seeing no questions, I move final passage of HB 147 using the previous roll.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
$34 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 147 passes.
Mr. President,
Senator Gudger.
I'd like to make a motion to pull up Senator Orr's House message.
All right. Secretary, call House message
196.
Yeah,
196.
196.
Senate
Yeah.
bill.
Thank you.
Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has amended, as therein shown and is amended, has passed the following Senate bill and returns same herewith to the Senate. Senate Bill number 196.
Mr. President.
Regarding public high school education. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd move we concur with the House amendment using the previous roll.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
34 ayes, 0 nays. Senate Bill 196 passes. Senator Sessions.
Could we bring up, back up House Bill 8?
All right, Secretary, call House Bill 8 from the called chair.
On page 96 of the calendar, House Bill number 8 by Representative Drummond regarding the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. Substitute pending.
Thank you, Mr. President. My colleague across the aisle has talked to me about and I was speaking before I left, if everyone would listen, please. Before I left the microphone, I was talking about how this is a very tough piece of legislation. We've got to get out from in front of our children. Senator Singleton's coming, and I told him not everybody's a bad actor. I hate punishing good actors. But he's prepared an amendment. He'll explain his amendment. I will probably still vote no on the amendment, but I told him as a professional colleague, we'll vote it up or down. Vote, and everyone vote as you vote your district, vote as you see fit. I personally will vote no, but I'll let Senator Singleton explain his amendment.
Mr. President, and this is an amendment that basically brings it back to some C-stores where those that are
we
being
need to adopt, y'all are welcome to talk on whatever. We just got to adopt the sub first before we can put an amendment on it.
Yes,
So.
but we'll talk about it, then we'll make an adoption.
Okay, got it.
This is going to bring it back to some C-stores, those C-stores that get a permit, and it's under, and there is a federal registry out there, federal list to where they are FDA approved. And those products that are FDA approved, that these C-stores could only sell those FDA approved. And I think those FDA approved was no flavors or anything of that nature that they come up with. And they are FDA approved, and it fits in this bill, and it's all sits under the same punitive actions that you would do as if any other C-store would have under this bill.
All right. Well, Senator, if you allow me to adopt the sub,
You adopt the sub, and we'll.
Motion to adopt the sub using previous roll without objection.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
$33 ayes, 1 nay. Senator Sessions' substitute is adopted. Senator Sessions. All right, now I guess there's an amendment.
We'll discuss, we'll talk a little bit more about the amendment.
All right.
Like I said,
Let's get the amendment introduced first.
Okay.
All right. Senator Singleton, you want to introduce your amendment?
Yes. Yeah, Mr. President, I want to explain. Scanning the ID is in the bill is already, right?
The scanners, yes,
Right.
they have to
and
have
this,
that.
This,
I'm pretty
this
sure
will
it's
fall
in
under that
there.
also. Everyone will still have to do the scanning.
Yeah, I think the only
in
thing
those
it
C-stores.
would add would be the C-stores on the federal registry. They're still going to have the equipment to verify.
Yeah.
A lot of these stores don't have that equipment, Senator.
Right. And it will require them to get that equipment if they
so
want to get a permit to do so.
They need to get that equipment because we want ABC to be able to go in and check these stores, make sure that they're playing by the rules. We don't want children getting their hands on these things. So with that, I'll ask for the long roll on the amendment.
I want to offer the amendment.
Absolutely.
All right, Secretary Reed, receive the amendment.
Amendment by Senator Singleton. Replace line 998 on page 36 with the following. replace line 1001 on page 36 with the following.
Mr. President, Senator Single's offered his amendment. Everyone has to vote their district, I understand. And I understand Senator Singleton would urge you to vote yes, but I would urge our members to vote no.
And
All right.
we're not calling for the vote right now, okay? And this amendment would definitely fall still under the laws of this particular bill. There still has to be a scanner. And to my understanding, and I'm not totally familiar with what the FDA does, but I've been told, even by the sponsor and others, that the FDA has a list, and I think it's maybe 23, 24 products that they approve, that they make sure that are clean products, and if they're sold in C-stores, they're still being able to only sold to those of 21 and older. And this, if a C-store wants to sell this, they would then have to go out and get that machine because they would still be permitted under this rule based on what this bill brings to put under this rule. That's what it is.
I understand, and I appreciate your
ends directory. That's what it is. Thank you, sir. That's the federal thing, ends directory. Mr. President, I move for adoption of the Singleton Amendment. Call a long roll, please.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chastain. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams.
All right, 18 ayes, 16 nays. The Senator Singleton Amendment is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, sponsor.
All right, Senator Sessions.
move for final passage using long roll, I guess.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chastain. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams.
All right, 28 ayes, 5 nays. House Bill 8 passes. Also would like to congratulate, I know Representative Drummond's worked on this issue, so good to have you here today. Yeah. All right, Senator Gudger.
I'll defer to Senator Sessions. Senator Gill.
Mr. President, just a point of personal privilege.
Recognized.
Like I said, I'd like the opportunity, thank you for the opportunity to handle this. Senator Gudger worked on this several years. Representative Drummond, you have been a soldier on this issue, and I just want to thank you. You were looking out for our children 3 years ago, 4 years ago, before we had even got on our radar, so thank you. I wish we could have been a little tighter, but you know, if it don't work out, Senator Singleton, I'll be back here next year if those actors turn out to be more bad actors than good actors. So with that, Senator Gudger.
Thank you, Senator Sessions. Mr. President.
Senator Gudger.
Thank you. Also, we just want to continue that. Barbara Drummond, Representative Drummond, you've been working on this bill since I got here. 2019 was my first session, got elected in 2018, and every year you've brought this up. And I've been at the other podium, and we've had you up almost the last day, and most of the time something's happened and it hadn't been able to pass. Today, your hard work has paid off. The state of Alabama appreciates you. We all say thank you for taking care of our kids, the superintendents, all the school children throughout, and all the ones that are doing some bad stuff. They don't even know they're doing bad stuff because that study's not out there and there's not any money to enforce this. This allows that to happen, and I just want to make sure that you know how much I appreciate you, that you haven't given up. You've stayed the course and made it work, and I'm just proud of you. I just want to make sure everybody in this whole Alabama State Senate and the Alabama State, all Alabamians, hear me say that we're very proud of you and we're thankful that you've got somebody like you on our team. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Point of personal privilege, please, Mr. President.
You're recognized, Senator Singleton.
I, too, would like to say thank you, sister. Thank you for the work that you've done. This bill has come a long way. We've seen it evolve into what it is today. So thank you so very much. And I know that we're going to still have to work on it as it continues to evolve. So let's continue to work. Thank you.
All right, I think we have a, Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just be remiss if I didn't come up also and commend Representative Drummond. I remember when she walked into this body and she had huge shoes to fill. She came beyond Dr. Yvonne Kennedy, who served this state and served as an educator, served these children for all of those years. And when you came, I said, she is the right person. So I'm so excited today to stand here and have the ability to vote for this piece of legislation that you've worked so hard for. You are a true champion for the state of Alabama, and you are a true champion for our children, and you are an amazing member of our great love sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Congratulations to you.
All right.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
Point of personal privilege.
You're recognized.
Representative Drummond, last year, me and you sat on the stage here in Montgomery, and you talked about this. You talked about how to save the kids. There's a lot of superintendents and a lot of principals and a lot of parents that are going to thank you for your mission on this. Job well done. Congratulations. Thank you.
All right, now we have a House message. Secretary, call the House message. Or message from the governor. Did you want to speak before we did that? You do? All right, hold on. Before we do that, let me recognize Senator Smitherman. All right. Okay. All right. Message from the governor then.
Message from the governor. Ladies and gentlemen, I received Senate Bill 310 and believe that it should be amended to correct an apparent typographical error. For this reason, at the request of the bill sponsor, I'm returning Senate Bill 310 to you, the body in which it originated, without my signature and with the below executive amendment. Please amend Senate Bill 310 by replacing line 62 on page 3 with the following: when a vacancy occurs with fewer than 6 months. Adoption of the proposed executive amendment will remove my objection to this bill. Respectfully submitted, Kay Ivey, Governor.
Mr. President,
Senator Wagner.
move that we concur in the governor's executive amendment.
All right, using
short roll.
Actually, use a long roll, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Secretary called a long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chastain. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shellnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams.
Thirty ayes, no nays. The Senate concurs on Senator Wagner's executive amendment. Senator Smitherman, you going to be recognized for a point of personal privilege?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I want to say to each and every person that seems like we've had a pretty good day so far. Overall, it does. It seems like we had a pretty good day, and that is good. That's very good. So you'll know this because some people got this look on their face. They're wondering. I'm just really up here talking, y'all, because they're trying to get straight out on a bill. So I just thought I'd let you know what the real deal is. So we're just trying to get some understanding about a particular bill. And then, I think we'll be moving on what we're doing. I will say this, is that if for some reason we have another calendar, I'd like for the Rules Committee and the Rules Chair to consider HB. Is it HB? 164, which is the Smaller States Bill from the Alabama Law Institute. which, you know, if you was in judiciary, you remember me talking about how it was a bill. I know it was strange that lawyers are carrying a bill that's going to take work from us, you know, but most people don't realize why would we be carrying a bill. And we have the representative in there, Representative Faulkner in the House is carrying the House bill, and I think I got the Senate bill. And his bill is primed to be considered up here. Well, you want to keep talking for me? You want me to yield to you? While I go follow. I think that you ever been in one of these dilemmas that you trying to let that happen, and then in the middle of what I told y'all, they were trying to get straight on that. Somebody said they need to talk to me, and I'm up here at the mic.
All right, I think Senator Kitchens wanted to be recognized for a point of personal privilege to talk about.
That'd be good.
New project in Marshall County.
All right.
Right, aerospace project.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about everything we've got going on in Marshall County. We've got a lot of Lake Gunnersville, City Harbor. Anybody who this summer, now that the weather's getting better, we'd love to have anybody to come up to the lake. Really just a beautiful place with our mountains. Got some great restaurants on the lake right there on the water. I'll even get you out on the boat and we'll take you for a ride and pull right up and be able to have dinner. We got a steakhouse. We've got they got a new ice cream shop, and I've heard it's pretty good, but I hadn't been yet. But anybody who wants to come up to Lake Gunnersville, we'd love to have you this summer. We also have some things. You know, my Senate district also goes into Madison County, Space and Rocket Center. We've got a lot of things going on with the space program right now, and Alabama continues to lead the nation and lead the world in everything we're doing with the Space Command and space program. So we've got a lot of really interesting things that are happening all in North Alabama. In Senate District 9, a special place to live, special place to work, and we'd love to have you come visit.
All right, thank you. I know my boys enjoyed playing at your home field in Arab this week on turf while it was raining, so it was good. All right, Senator, do you want to be recognized for a point of personal privilege?
Personal privilege.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you,
recognized.
Mr. President, for this recognition. I want to just thank, while we're talking about our districts, I want to thank this body, the Senate, for passing SB 262, which will help Lowndes County. Our facility there, we, on the other hand, are a district that is marred by economic disenfranchisement. And so this bill will allow Whitehall to reopen and allow us to exude self-determination. The bill also will provide resources to Lowndes County Commission, the Lowndes County Board of Education, as well as the Black Belt Unincorporated Wastewater Program. But I am putting House members on notice that for the rest of the time we are in this session, I will contest all local bills coming from the House. All I ask is for my bill that I've sponsored, that's been introduced every quadrennium, to see the light of day in the Tourism Committee. But my calls have been falling on deaf ears. And so, again, I want to thank this body for what you've done. You all have done what you're supposed to do here in the Senate. But now I'm calling on the House for their support, for us to help ourselves We cannot depend on the federal government anymore. We have to have community-based solutions. And that is what this legislation does. Thank you, and I yield.
All right, Senator Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I be recognized for a moment of personal privilege?
You're recognized.
Thank you, sir. So, this weekend, I was sent a video from a constituent of something in my district that's got me a little troubled. And it has to do with a project that I'm very much in favor of, but that we're having some problems with, in my opinion. It deals with the disposal of dredge material from the ship channel. Project's great. We've worked hard on the project, worked hard to get the project funded, but some of the disposal practices leave me with some concern. Many of you have been to the Grand Hotel for conferences. So a video I saw this weekend had the disposal of some dredge material from the ship channel being discharged in open water right off of Point Clear in my district. And I posted it on my Facebook page, and I was really surprised that as of right now, it has 169,953 views. That's just since this weekend. Because the people in my district are very concerned about water quality, they're very concerned about sea life, and they're very concerned about, frankly, the mud that's being dredged from the ship channel being disposed right there off of Point Clear in open water, and what that's doing to our environment. And so I have started to really dig into this issue and explore this issue more. Make no mistake about it, I am a big fan of the port. I am a big fan of our industry in Mobile, and I am a big fan of what the port does for our entire state. But I do think there is a better way to dispose of this dredge material. And those better ways are upland disposal, where that material can be dewatered and used for some beneficial purpose. In the past, we've built entire islands in Mobile Bay to house this dredge material, because as most of you are aware, all of our river systems in Alabama, the vast majority of them drain right there into Mobile Bay, and there's a tremendous amount of sediment that is associated with that. And so as that sediment moves down the river, it settles into the bay and it settles into this ship channel, and so this ship channel requires periodic dredging. We just have got to get a better way of dealing with the dredge material. And it can't simply be disposing of it in open water so that it then causes turbidity in the water, and so that it then impacts submerged aquatic vegetation, that it impacts shellfish, that it impacts other marine life in Mobile Bay. Our water quality is a big part of the giant tourism industry that is so important to Alabama and Alabama's budgets. And so, Mr. President, I want to make sure that we find a balance. And unfortunately, I don't think that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has found an acceptable balance. I think that the disposal of this material could very much impact not just the environment, but our tourism revenues. I don't think you'll find a bigger advocate for economic development, and certainly I wouldn't classify myself as an environmentalist, but I am a conservationist. I enjoy fishing. My son enjoys fishing. We catch crabs, we catch shrimp, we eat the oysters. Many of my constituents do as well, and I am concerned. I am concerned about seeing a dredge spoil pipe, essentially, casting out into open water spoil material. And it's just shooting there out on top of the water, and then it floats down, and the idea is that it is thinly dispersed along the bay bottom. And so my my frustration is if we do that wrong, we could really impact the sea life there, and we are impacting it. I mean, there's no way you can look at that video and not see that and go, this is probably not a good idea. And so I find myself in an awkward position where I am trying to balance what I know is good for the port, for Alabama's port, what I know is good for Mobile, what I know is good for industry, and what's good for our environment. And so I'm going to continue to bring this issue to light. I'm going to continue to work with our federal partners in D.C. to see if we can figure out a way to do this better, for Mobile Bay, to do this better for Fairhope and Daphne, for Magnolia Springs, for Fort Morgan, for Weeks Bay and Bon Secour. I know that my colleagues across the bay have concerns as well about water quality. Many of y'all have been fishing with me. You've been fishing out on the University of South Alabama's boat before, and you've seen the bay. It was never a clear bay, don't get me wrong. It didn't ever look like the Bahamas. It's never gonna look like that. It's not gonna be that gin clear water everybody talks about, mainly because of the rivering system we have in the ecosystem. That's okay. I don't want to add to that problem. I worry about the siltation. I worry about how we're disposing of this, and I worry about the impact to sea life. And so I think the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers needs to move as quickly as possible to find and to approve beneficial use projects where we can use some of this sediment. You know, I think some of the argument has been that we don't have any place to put this sediment that's permitted. Well, that's kind of which comes first, the chicken or the egg. Let's see if we can get some of these beneficial use projects permitted, and then maybe we'll have a place to put some of this material. Instead of simply saying we don't have anything permitted, well, of course we don't. You won't approve the permit. And so there are a lot of organizations that are doing good work along and in Mobile Bay. You've got the Mobile Bay National Estuary Program, which I think a lot of. I've worked with for well over a decade to do all kinds of projects to improve water quality in the area. You have the Mobile Bay Keepers, who are a fantastic organization. Haven't always agreed with them, probably won't agree with them in the future. But they do good work at shining a light on some things that sometimes we need to focus a little bit more on. You have all the folks that work at the University of South Alabama in the Stowe School of Marine Science. And you have the Dauphin Island Sea Lab that does good work watching and monitoring water quality. And so my goal is to try to see if we can bring all of those organizations together along with the Corps of Engineers, get some of these beneficial use projects approved that need this spoil material so that we can restore some wetlands, so that we can build some living shorelines, and so that we can use this material in a way that benefits the environment and hardens our shorelines against future storm damage, as opposed to just disposing of it in open water, which cannot be the best solution. And so to my colleagues, I would encourage you to go and see if you think what you're seeing in a video of this mud spewing out into the open part of Mobile Bay is a good idea right there off of Point Clear. If that's a good idea or not, I think not. I think that video, it spoke to me. I showed it to my 13-year-old son, and I know a lot of y'all have gotten to watch him fish and come up, and I told him, I asked him, what do you think of this? And he said, I'm sure glad that's not out in front of our house, Dad. It's an emotional issue to a lot of people because it hits them right in a special place. That bay is special. That water is special. The quality of that water, the fish, the time we spend with our kids is important. And if we can't catch fish, if we can't eat the fish, if the water quality is poor, if we kill the submerged aquatic vegetation, if we can't eat the shellfish, if the oystermen go out of business, that's not good. It's not good for Alabama's economy. It's not good for our environment. It's not good for tourism. It's not good for the people that live along, that make their living in the bay. And so we're going to have to find a compromise. We're going to have to find a better way to use this spoil material in a beneficial manner. And we're going to have to make sure that our federal partners increase funding for this project so that we can dispose of this material properly, so that the much-needed dredging of the ship channel can continue, so that we can continue to be an economic driver for the entire state, but to do so in a manner that does not harm our environment, do irreparable harm to our environment. And so that's my plea to our federal colleagues, is to let's do this right. Let's find a way to make sure that this gets done right and in a manner that preserves our environment. I want to make sure that for generations to come, our children have the ability to fish. Our children have the ability to swim. Our children have the ability to enjoy that waterway. You know, I heard very disconcertingly a comment that said, well, the bay's already dead. Why bother? And that was kind of shocking to me. Why bother? We've already ruined it. Why bother? And I think we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our children. We owe it to the next generation to do better. Certainly there have been mistakes in the past. Certainly the Corps of Engineers presided over some of those mistakes. But we can do this better. We absolutely can, and we should. And so I'll be traveling to D.C. next month. I'm going to talk with my federal colleagues up there. We're going to work on some additional funding, I hope. But more importantly, I want to make sure that the Corps of Engineers moves forward with some of these permitting practices. Their permitting is abysmally slow. And it is, in my mind, part of the problem. And so I am hopeful that we can continue to work with them to move some of these permits forward, to find uses for this dredge material, to get this material in a proper place where we can realize dual goals of keeping the ship channel dredged, keeping the economy open for business, but that includes the economy that is based on our environment. That includes the bay being in good shape ecologically. And there's nothing about that video and that dredge disposal method that says, hey, this is a good idea. There's nothing that says this looks like a good idea. Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, Senator Gudger.
Mr. President, we're going to continue just for a little while on some dialogue back and forth, but I appreciate the opportunities to bring my young friend in today, the Hoop Shoot National Championship winner, Paxton Ploud, anyway, and he went and had a meeting with the governor, had a picture with her a little earlier, and being somebody that's in an 8th and 9-year-old and coming to the State House is a big deal and learning a lot, so it's been kind of nice for him to be able to come around and see us. Then also from here, leave here and go to the Capitol to be able to see the governor. So I think it's been a big day for him and his father. But it's a big day whenever you have somebody that has got talent like he does at that age, and he's disciplined enough to go out and shoot basketball every day. And you don't think much about shooting basketball, but when you're 8 or 9 and then start shooting basketball today and do it in the rain, or the snow, the sleet, the hail, and then you're having to be inside and learning how your form is on everything. It's just kind of nice for him to be here. So anyway, I'm proud of him. You know, he's 8 or 9 years old, and some of the things that he's having to face are things that we've never had to face. Social media, that's happened on his phone. Growing up, he's never probably been without a phone. And the things that happen on his phone as far as the social media aspects of it. Then number 2, you end up coming up with, you end up coming with social media. Then you've got him growing up into this world with this, what we're talking about now, hemp, you know? And with this hemp legislation that we've got in front of us, the same legislation that we're trying to deal with the vape, is our purpose is to get this out of the hands of the children. And they've been able to have more opportunities to be able to have access to this than any of us, because obviously most of the people in this chamber, or all the people in this chamber, didn't grow up with it, but he has had to. And so just looking at him earlier as a young man, being able to know he's got access and can get by at his school, which is amazing, in Parkside Middle School, it's amazing anyway that he's having to deal with it. And so I believe that's the goal of everybody's intent that's in the Alabama State Senate today, is to work on this legislation and to be able to make sure that there's an amendment coming up that we vote it up and we vote it down, but in the end, we get this bill passed today so that we can go ahead and get this, so we can get this off of our plate before we go out of this session, and that way we do not have to worry about children overdosing. And they said there is, from Forensic Sciences, 1 or 2 overdoses or deaths per day based on hemp and based on the vape. So I do think it's an important thing that we're dealing with. We want to get it right before we get going. And so that's why we're taking a little bit of time to make sure that we have whatever amendments ready to go before we come back up, and Senator Melson being at the mic, so we're able to talk about all the different things with the legislation and what it bans, what the hemp legislation restricts, what the hemp legislation mandates, what the hemp legislation prohibits, how it's going to be marketed to children, and what can't be marketed to children, labeling requirements, and having 21 years and older, the regulation of the serving size and container size, the funding and how the tax structure happens, the certificate of analysis and what's going to happen with that, your local control, your licensing requirements, your penalties, and for the difference of distributing and selling or offering sale of any product of a list of some of these above things, which is without a certificate of analysis, without having the original sealed container, meeting the serving size and product content requirements, including the THC, and meeting the labeling requirements. And then you've got penalties for selling without a license. First offense, second offense, third offense, and there's pretty hefty ones. We have not had any enforcement in the past on any type of vaping or the hemp because there hasn't been money put into the budgets for that, because there hasn't been any taxes that were allowed to go towards that enforcement. With these bills that we've passed and hopefully passed with the hemp bill here in a minute, and the one that we just passed with the vape bill, we're able to take that money that goes through ALEA and ABC so that we can now have more sting operations. We're able to have more safety conductions and conferences at the schools. We have more literature and media. And from all of that, it helps us have a better quality generation growing up than what we've done in the past. And I've got an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old. And by having said that we're having to deal with that, they've had to deal with these issues. And not only did they have vapes that were at the...
Do you want to break? He's interested in talking.
Would you like to go back and forth or dialogue, or let me get a glass of water?
I'll be glad to, or take a point of personal privilege on my own.
Go ahead. You can take your... Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's been said that, a lot of bills hadn't moved. And of course, today, a lot of bills have moved fairly quickly. I can say I'm extremely proud, and I took a point of personal privilege earlier today, but extremely proud in the speedy trial bill. As everyone here knows, I mean, we passed the Senate version a couple weeks ago. That's down at the House now, and no real need to continue with that because we did pass the House version. And in my point of personal privilege earlier today, I mentioned Nathan Gemeinhardt and his family and the pain and suffering that they've been going through since his brutal murder some 3 years ago. I'd also say the flip side to that is there are other folks out there who have been arrested, and their cases are pending. We've got multiple folks that have maybe some mental health type issues that are awaiting psychiatric exams. I know that they're extremely backed up. There are individuals who are awaiting trial for 4 or 5, sometimes longer than that, who have been sitting in the county jails waiting those, and sometimes waiting for mental evaluations. And I think that's a travesty. It's a travesty for those individuals that may have not have actually committed the crime, but certainly for the victims of those crimes not to have justice any sooner. So I think that bill really does a good job of making sure that that we have judicial resources in place. About either a retired judge from that circuit could be appointed, the DA could ask for another judge, and so I think that was a good bill that we passed. I think that we've got an opportunity now to get judges in positions, if we're asked or requested by the DA or the AG that's handling those cases, to have that speedy trial, to have an opportunity for voices of those victims to be heard. And then again, like I said, for those individuals who have been sitting, who our Constitution says are presumed innocent unless or until proved otherwise. So it's an opportunity for everybody to have their voices heard in a much clearer and concise and quick manner, and to have their day in court and hopefully bring resolution on behalf of those family members. I know that it affects a lot of folks throughout the state. There are countless victims who have to relive that trauma every day. And again, I'm just hopeful that that piece of legislation will prove fruitful, that DAs throughout the state, as well as the Attorney General, can call on the Chief Justice in certain specific instances and request a retired judge or a visiting judge to come in and hear those horrific cases. I think that'll also help in some of the backload that's out there. At one point in time here, about a year or so ago, I understood that Montgomery County had 300 plus murders that were individuals who've been charged and that was waiting to go to trial. And you think about it, Montgomery County has arraignment once a month, a grand jury, once a month. And unfortunately, I don't see those numbers going down anytime soon. So this will give an opportunity, at least for the folks in Montgomery, to the DA to call in another judge. Of course, the other thing about that is once we have some the judges that come in to hear those cases, there may be an opportunity that we need some extra prosecutors. I see Senator Smitherman across the way, and be glad to dialogue on point of personal privilege, or he may want to take the microphone, and he may have some things on his mind as well. So with that, I'll wrap up my my time on point of personal privilege and yield to Senator Smitherman.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Smitherman,
Could
you have a few words to say? You're recognized.
Well, I don't know. Do we have the bill before us now? Was it carried over?
Yeah, you're talking on personal privilege at this point. We have nothing on the board at this point.
No, I'm not asking to speak on personal privilege.
Do you wish to be?
I thought we had something on the board.
We do not have anything on the board, sir. No, sir.
Okay, well, I think I need to be asked to be recognized.
Would you like to be recognized for point of personal privilege?
Yes, but after he gets to, I don't mind.
Okay.
He wants to be recognized.
Mr. President, I'd like to bring up.
Senator Melton, you wish to be recognized?
I do, sir.
You're recognized for point of personal privilege, sir.
No, I wanted to bring up HB 445 at the call of the chair.
Oh, HB 4. Yeah. I think you need to take a point of personal privilege for a moment.
I'll take one. If
here we go.
Oh, if that's the case, then.
Mr. President.
Welcome back. All right, Senator.
I'd like to bring up HB 445 at the call of the chair.
All right, Secretary, call up HB. You said 445? All right.
On page 79 of the calendar, House Bill number 445 by Representative Witt regarding consumable hemp products. Substitute pending.
Mr. President.
Senator.
I'd like to adopt a substitute we're using the long row.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Aye. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler, Mr. Carnley, Mr. Chambliss, Mr. Chastain, Ms. Coleman, Ms. Coleman Madison, Mr. Elliott, Ms. Figures, Mr. Gavan, Mr. Gudger, Mr. Hatcher, Mr. Hovey, Mr. Jones, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kitchens, Mr. Livingston, Mr. Melson,
Aye.
Mr. Orr, Mr. Price, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Sessions, Mr. Shelnut, Mr. Singleton, Mr. Smithman, Mr. Stewart, Mr. Stutz, Mr. Wagner, Ms. Weaver, Mr. Williams,
27 ayes, 4 nays. The Senator Melson substitutes adopted. All right, Senator Melson.
Thank you, Mr. President. When the federal government passed the hemp bill, little did we know that although it was for plant material and paper and rope, little did we know there was a loophole that got opened up for consumables. Even the FDA and the Fed said they would not even evaluate it for the safety of human consumption. So we had a product out there that was being unregulated and unenforced as far as any purity or other things. And although there have been a lot of reputable people in the business, there's also been a lot of unreputable. 2 years ago, we passed an age requirement for being 21. Unfortunately, a few bad individuals and players have made that where others have to be reined in and put in the same bracket just to make sure the guardrails are up for our young individuals and other people. But this is about protecting the health and safety of Alabama residents from consumable products marketed toward not only adults but especially children. And this is all from hemp-derived products. So this ban, or not ban, but the bill bans some things and requires some things. It takes out smokable products. It takes out chemically active products that have been synthetically made. It also does a lot of things as far as regulation, valuation, and enforcement, making certain things illegal that currently are no regulation at all. My colleague has an amendment he'd like to offer. I understand where he's coming from, but this amendment does allow for the product to still continue to have the raw flour, which is banned in this bill because they are using that as a vehicle for other things. And but I'll be glad, without losing my time or place, make him offer an amendment or allow him to offer an amendment and discuss his amendment.
All right. Senator Smithman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Sponsor.
Secretary Reed, receive the amendment, please.
Amendment to House Bill 445 by Senator Smitherman. Replace lines 15 through 16 on page 1 with the following. Replace lines 77 through 86 on page 3 through 4 with the following.
Mr. President.
All right, Senator Smitherman.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Sponsor. This amendment, what it does is that presently the industry of the 21s and up is, I guess the best analysis I can give you, they're just like the state store, is that you have to be 21 or older before you can go in to purchase any products. What this amendment does, in effect, is allow them to continue to sell the products that they sell, and among those products is the smokable hemp. The reason simply is this, is that if that aspect is taken away from that business, then that business goes out of business. It's not enough on those other products to be able for the business to survive in its present form or in any form with the other involvement of the other, people that we got handling the other products. So this is really to say that this is to allow them to continue to do what they're doing. The smokables are regulated just like cigarettes and any other smokable product that we regulate now. And it's only in the 21 and over stores. I don't think, or I can recall any kind of conflict or problem of any product that came out of the 21 or over stores. And of course, they have the verification process of determining with the ID that the people are actually 21 years or older. So what we're trying to do in essence is to save that industry by allowing them to continue to operate as they are. They're regulated, of course, within the bill, what the bill says, the way that they're regulated. So that speaks for itself there because that's in the bill. But Mr. President, that's the bill in it.
Long roll?
Yeah, and
All right.
I would just ask for adoption of it so that they could still maintain and survive.
Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chastain. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams.
7 ayes, 26 nays. Senator Smitherman, amendment fails.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thanks, Senator Smitherman. All right, Senator Melson.
Appreciate the vote there. I know where you're coming from, and I think, unfortunately, we have some bad actors that have just made it not acceptable to have that. Well, I think others would be responsible, but I appreciate you working with me on that amendment, and I appreciate the dialogue we had.
Thank you.
I think my colleague, without losing my place or time, has an amendment I'd like to allow him to bring forward and discuss.
Yes, Mr. President.
You recognize? Yeah.
I'd like to offer an amendment.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the amendment.
Amendment to House Bill 445 by Senator Singleton. Replace line 506 on page 19 with the following. Replace line 526 through 527 on page 19 with the following. Replace line 538 on page 20 with the following.
All right, Senator Singleton.
Mr. President, this is language that was in the original substitute that basically puts it back into grocery stores under the that we're originally in the original bill and the original substitute, puts it back into the grocery stores, and I would just like to have a up or down vote on that. It's not C stores, but grocery stores.
All right, long roll.
Long roll.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chastain. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams.
Seventeen ayes, 15 nays. The Senator Singleton amendment's adopted. All right, Senator
President,
Melson.
I'd like to use for final passage using long roll.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
One guy gonna be out.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chastain. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams.
Nineteen ayes, 13 nays. House Bill 445 passes. Thanks, Senator Melson.
Mr. President, I'd like to reconsider and lay it on the table.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right,
Mr. President, I'd like to have one moment of personal privilege.
you're recognized.
I'd just like to thank my colleagues. This was a big issue and it's a tough issue. Some people feels like it's condoning the use of marijuana, but I think it's solving a problem for a lot of kids. You know, and as much as it may have been a hard vote, thank y'all for taking that vote. To me, the harder vote was putting vapes back in C-stores earlier. We just put them back in the C-store, and we're going to have all our superintendents still facing the same problems with the students. You know, we've been having this issue with the children being taken to the hospital. I've had at least 6 since January 1 in my district, and that was through March. I don't know what's happened since then, but that's one of the things we're going to have to continue to look at, and I appreciate it again, but I think we made a mistake earlier. Mr. Pro Tem, your mic.
Thank you, sir. I'll yield to my colleague. If that's all right, Mr. President.
Mr. President, point of personal privilege.
You're recognized.
Senator Melson, thank you. We went a long way today with those 2 bills. The vaping bill and the hemp bill goes hand in hand. I know it was a tough vote for a lot of people. You know, we have to do much as we can to protect our youth. I think by getting all of this stuff out of convenience stores goes a long way. A lot of the stuff that they are selling in these stores it was already illegal anyway, but no one had an opportunity, no one had a real way to go after them. I think the bills we passed today gives our ABC board the opportunity to have some revenue to be able to go after these bad actors. And I just want to say on this microphone tonight that these convenience stores, although we put in these vapes, allowing those on the register to be in those stores, they're going to be subject to those same penalties. And those penalties are stringent. And we're going to be watching. And if you're still a bad actor, it's going to come a day when you won't be in business anymore. So I appreciate the good actors out there that are not selling these to youth, but the ones that are still selling them, we're going to be watching. We're going to be watching. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Senator Gudger.
Thank you, Senator Sessions. Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, the Alabama State Senate has been a long day, a good day. We've gotten through a lot of legislation that we all had our hands in on different aspects of it, whether that was transparency and efficiency in government, whether that was protecting Alabama family values and protecting Alabama children in the process. We made some major strides from doing that. It's easy to kick the can down the road, and we did not do that today. We actually took action and made things happen. And I like when we're able to come together to make decisions, listen to the body, go back and forth, give each other time to get amendments, plead each other's cases of why you think you need something, why you don't, and then vote on that. That's what we're here for. And so I'm thankful that that is what it's all about. There's been some bills we've been trying to pass for 5 years, and we passed them today. And it's the right thing to do as we move forward. I'm talking about Barbara Drummond's bill, and then Senator Melson, Senator Sessions. I want to thank both of you gentlemen for doing all the work that you have done as we move forward into trying to make sure that our children are safe in the state of Alabama. But we had a good day, guys. I'm looking forward till tomorrow, seeing where we are as we move into one of the last days of the Alabama State Senate for this session. Before I leave, I'd like to just say that the Cattleman's Breakfast is tomorrow at 7 a.m. In case you didn't know, the famous Gerald Allen will be on the biscuits over there for everybody. Larry Stutz will be cooking. Jack Williams, David Sessions. Cattleman will be helping us with the steaks, and the poultry will be there with the eggs. And so we're going to have a good crew for breakfast tomorrow, 7 a.m. at the Cattleman's Breakfast. Everybody is invited, obviously. And then from that, I would like to make a motion to adjourn, Mr. President, until 9:30 tomorrow, Wednesday, May 7th, at 9:30, leaving the Journal open for House messages.
All right, heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We stand adjourned.